I am filled with scotch and bitterness and impure thoughts.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's me, Legal Vices, and here I am. How are we all doing? It is a great, fantastic, amazingly wonderful Tuesday night, and as long as I keep telling myself that, it'll have will to power, and maybe perchance it will become a super awesome, amazing, wonderful night. Flux says late and me. That's funny. That's funny. All right. Okay. Hey, welcome mods, welcome visitors and viewers, welcome people. Everybody is welcome here at this little chatty thing we're doing. It's that time of whatever it is again, month, day, week, year, but it's time to talk about our favorite people, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. That's what I need to do. I need to do that for one of my opening deals when we talk about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, the Godfather 2, just when I thought they were out, they pulled me back in again. Yeah, they need to do that quote. That's kind of how I feel. It's just like when you think you can finally see Johnny Depp and Amber Heard kind of going over the horizon behind you. You get enough little tidbitty things to update that you should probably do a stream and talk about it for a bit. So that's kind of what we're doing tonight. I mean, nothing serious. God knows how long or short this will go. But we'll hit that in a bit. We are coming up on the end of the month. It is the 27th at 9:04 p.m. here in Korea on September 27th. Only 3 more days. And then we're into October, the Halloween month. Let's finish the month strong. We got some good shows lined up for the rest of the month here. And dang, coming up soon, October 7th, I believe, is that the day? Yes, Friday, October 7th, which will be PM in the States, and it'll be Saturday morning actually here when I kick off my F it Friday for October super mega Grift-a-thon. So bring your shekels and boozy bucks to throw at me that day, because we're gonna hit it hard. Up to this point, I've got several YouTubers who will be joining me. Names to be announced later, but I've confirmed a few. There's a few other that are checking schedules and things, but it'll be my 25,000 subscriber extravaganza, and I'm going to have on people that have put me where I am here at the 25,000 subscriber mark after only about four and a half months. So there should be some big names in LawTube and LawTube adjacent people. That'll be coming up on Friday evening U.S. time on October 7th. And again, standard rules apply. $100 gets a shot. Any question or comment on Super Chat, and we just see how drunk we can get me so that I don't have to grift throughout the rest of the month as hard as I do on that day. It's just a super fun It's just a super fun, kickback, relaxed booze and grift stream. Pure grift, purely for fun. Participate or don't at your own leisure and or risk. So that's coming up on the 7th. But let's finish this month here strong. We've got today, we've got the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing. Tomorrow, I didn't know what to do for Wednesday, but now I do, because we've had some movement on the Alec Baldwin shooting case. We've got some movement. Some things are coming. They're ready to send the files to the prosecution. Potential suspects are coming up. And there's some other behind the scenes thing we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the Alec Baldwin update day. A surprise, which I wasn't expecting. And then Thursday, we've got our weekly O.J. Simpson dose. And this week will be about a 15-minute review of Kato Kaelin's 5-day testimony. And then we're going to spend the next 2, possibly 3 weeks going through some parts of the cross-examination of Dennis Furman. Dennis Furman was the white police officer who found the glove in the Ford Bronco of O.J. He found the blood in the glove. Damn it. This is what happens when you don't drink for 2 days. Mark Furman, the white cop who found the blood drop in the Ford Bronco. Mark Furman, the officer who found the glove, the bloody glove on O.J. Simpson's property where Kato Kaelin was staying. He gets grilled. The one who said he has never used. Oh, hey, Kurt, let me finish my rant and we'll get right with you. Yes. Gosh. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. And I have to warn you, there's a few parts that are N-word heavy, and it's not the N-word, it's the N-word. And I know some of you degenerates in chat think that's a chance for you to start dropping N-bombs. Don't. I am risking an absolute intercourse ton with playing the actual N-bombs that are dropped in that courtroom. I don't need the chat helping me off the platform. So the mods will be on a special N-word watch duty on Thursday, because we're going to play the transcript raw, because that was the deal. We say the N-word now because of the O.J. Simpson trial, in huge part. Because Furman was dropping so many N-bombs and Bailey was cross-examining him so hard, dropping the N-bombs, and the black prosecutor Chris Darden was refusing to use the word, and that is what led us to start referring to it euphemistically as the N-word, which I agree with Bill Burr is intellectually dishonest. You say the N-word, but when you say the N-word, you make me think the N-word in my own head. So, you're making me say it when we should be you saying it. But anyway, that's going to be going for the next couple of weeks, probably the cross-examination, probably every Thursday for the next 2, possibly 3 weeks. And then what's next? Friday is just going to be my usual Friday law rant, where we just get all these little tidbitty law-related and law-adjacent stories that don't have any particular place anywhere else during the rest of the week, and we just kind of rant about them on a Friday night. And then just telegraphing something. The next Sunday night, I guess it'll be Sunday night my time, Sunday afternoon England time, and Sunday morning US time, I will be having a special guest. We'll drop the name some point next week, but mark that on your calendar. All right, well, that brings us to where we are here now. Hey, Kurt, it's good to see you there. Hang tight. I'll be dropping a link to you, and you can come and say howdy for a bit while we look at the Alec Baldwin stuff. No, tonight's Amber Heard. Look at the Amber Heard stuff. All right. Let's see. While I'm doing this, while I'm pulling up the links and bringing on Kurt here, let's see. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this. We've got 200 viewers already and only 100 likes. Again, it's always half of you that don't do your job. Get down there, hit that like button while I'm doing this. It takes that long just to click the like button, and then it makes YouTube love me, and then we grow. And if you're brand new here and you're wondering what we're doing, we're just doing our little bitty Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, and C. Boozy Gossip Fest. I just gave you the lineup that we're going to do the next week. This is what we do. So if you like it, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you here as a subscriber. We've got some memberships you can join as well. And as always, super chats are not required, but they are encouraged and never refused. And you're guaranteed to get your question read, your comment noticed, or whatever, because it shows up in big bright colors. And I try to read the chat as much as possible. I try to respond to as much as I can in chat. But frankly, especially on nights like tonight, where there is multiple windows open, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 windows open and even more tabs. I got to pay attention to a lot of things. So just the surefire way is the super chat. No minimum required. But let's get after it. I have sent Kurt a link, so we may be joined by Uncivil Law here any moment now. In the meantime, again, I just want to say thank you to all of my mods. You guys are super fantastic, and I couldn't be doing this without you. I certainly couldn't be doing it without all of you viewers here. We are doing well tonight. So we got some hey from Texas, and more good. We got lots of Texans here this morning. Yes, Uncivil Law has been invited because apparently Hogue doesn't want him today. You're always welcome here, Kurt. Back to the turd that just won't flush. Exactly. That's kind of where we are. Again, I don't want to talk about it, but sometimes we're just forced. Oh, Joe Choi, thank you so much for being the first super chatter of the day. I love the Gossip LV. Bring it on. Well, all righty, we can do that for you. That is absolutely not a problem. The grift is real. The grift is necessary. It's the end of the month, so may as well go out in style. While we are waiting for Monsieur Uncivil Law, let's just kind of get us to where we are. Right now, we're still in this weird nebulous area of appeal. The appeal hasn't started yet. I mean, the meat of the appeal, the notices of appeal have been filed. God knows when they'll actually get around to filing any real appellate documents that we want to talk about. But it'll happen. And once that happens, then the appellate wheels kick into gear, and we'll be talking a little bit more about it, obviously, as that ramps up, assuming that it doesn't go away for whatever reason. But in the meantime, there's all kinds of scandalous stuff going on, and the rise of C. Boozy is just another. There's enough gasoline on the Amber Heard Johnny Depp situation that we didn't need the C. Boozy match being thrown on top of it, or did we? Here to provide color commentary is our very own Uncivil Law. Good morning, Kurt.
Hey, how are you doing, man?
I'm trying to sound really chipper, much more chipper than I feel. I got my Yeti. These are these Yeti wine cooler glass things are awesome. Mm-hmm. I just love this. That was my big acquisition on my vacation, was this nice wine cooler cocktail Yeti glass. So just got that filled with a good old fashioned and ready to go. So we're $5 into our super chat.
You are all set, man. You've got everything that you possibly need.
I am, and as soon as we hit that 100 super chat mark, we got the Buffalo Trace over there. Well, how are you doing this morning? What's up? Hogue doesn't want you, huh? So I'm your backdoor man. I'm your backdoor girl here. I'm your second choice. What's up?
Oh, that's not true at all. No, things are fine, man. Things are good. I'm still enjoying this YouTube life. Still trying to enjoy making great content. Got some good stories coming out today about some things that been going on in the news recently. Always things happening.
Story yesterday.
The anal bead story was a interesting one to do for sure.
And if you don't know about that, go watch Kurt's anal bead story, especially if you're a chess player. Weirdly enough.
Yeah. Today we'll be discussing South Carolina, deciding that civil asset forfeiture is totally cool, which is somewhat disappointing. And we're also discussing we're also discussing a somewhat disappointing story with a state judge in Boston who is escaping federal prosecution after illegally and improperly assisting a fugitive. Well, they were also a fugitive because it's felony, because there was also a illegal immigrant was the word I was really looking for. But they had been twice. They've been twice
illegal immigrant.
They've been twice deported before, so they were wanted on a felony warrant. And they told ICE to sit outside in the lobby while they escorted the person through the back door, and that's illegal. And the Department of Justice just announced that they're not going to prosecute, which is annoying.
Well. That's interesting. That's kind of, I was sort of tying this into my F. Lee Bailey cross-examination coming up on Thursday with the O.J. Simpson deal. Again, a fantastic officer of the court who got into a little bit of trouble towards the end of his life, and his entire career went out the window. Which, incidentally, we can also tie that into fugitives. I don't know if anybody in your chat have seen either the Harrison Ford, who was Harrison Ford's co-star in that? Tommy Lee Jones, Harrison Ford, the movie The Fugitive, or the old TV series The Fugitive, about the doctor that came home and found his wife being murdered and allegedly saw a one-armed man running out the door. That's actually based on a true story, and F. Lee Bailey was the lawyer for the doctor in that particular case. So, hey, there we go, full circle. Are you ready for some more Amber Heard, Kurt?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. There's nothing more I want in my life than more Amber Heard, man. She just will not die, will she?
As someone said in comments, the turd that just won't flush. She's had 4 or 5 flushes now and just refuses to go. Have you heard any indication of when they're actually going to file the appellate documents?
Not really. No.
But now they filed their notice. I would assume there's some sort of Virginia timeline. Is there for the appeals?
Yeah, there is. I think it's supposed to come up pretty soon, actually.
Yeah, I can't imagine be like, okay, file your notice and then just forget about it for 3 years. That wouldn't make any sense. But Sometimes courts don't make sense. But today we're doing our clearinghouse of Amber Heard stories and Johnny Depp stories. They've accumulated enough that we can actually do most of a show about one. So this is the legal experts, quote unquote, weigh in on the chances of appeal. The chances of the appeal. Well, you're a legal expert, Kurt. You weigh in on the chances of appeal. On
pretty bad.
On a scale
pretty horrible.
From 0 to 1.
Pretty horrible.
If you were a betting man, what's the over under? I will say absolutely zero chance unless there's some sort of catastrophic thing that happens.
Yeah, I just can't imagine that the Virginia Supreme Court, even if they were inclined to try to create some sort of exception for public figure, for defamation, for implication, I can't imagine that they would do it in this case. So I think that the odds, I mean, that's really her only hope. Johnny Depp has much better odds on appeal than she does. I don't know what else she can argue other than for a fundamental change in law as to defamation by implication, to say that it's just not a thing for public figures. Because I think Tennessee maybe makes that distinction, because we were discussing this before. There's like 2 or 3 states that do make this distinction, where it's possible for defamation for implication for a non-public figure, but not for a public figure. And Virginia's never actually squarely said.
Wouldn't that be fun if she argued she wasn't really a public person?
That'd also be good to argue she's not a public person. That'd be interesting. I was Mira in the Aquaman movies, but I'm not a public person. That'd be interesting.
Nobody remembers Mira. Mira's one that goes, "Oh, that was Amber Heard." Oh, okay. Well, I think, I mean, you have a good point that I think we tend not to think about. There's 2 appeals going on here. Amber's appeal, which I think has literally zero chance. If as close as you can get any lawyer to saying the chance is 0, that's how close I am to saying is 0.
The only thing that she has going for her is that she does have this novel legal theory to which Virginia has not squarely addressed it. So there's no case law saying she's wrong. So she's got that going for her. There's no case law saying she's right. And all the case law that does exist implies she's wrong.
And I think it's interesting that Johnny Depp has the situation where he has the best chance of appeal by saying, this guy wasn't talking for me. I think you mistakenly decided that some guy I paid money to take care of stuff was also taking care of somehow my public relations, which I didn't authorize him to do, and she wasn't damaged by it anyway. I think you're on this. I tend to sweep that one under the rug because we focus so much on Amber Heard.
Yeah, and I think that's right for Johnny Depp's lawsuit. I think that the case law tends to support the proposition that when you have an attorney cannot legally be an employee. They are a contractor, and if you're a contractor, you can't have respondeat superior, which is the entire theory that they're going on to get Johnny liable, right? It's
your employee can bind the
employee binds the employer, right? It's like,
if you drive over someone with a company truck, your boss is going down for it.
Well, at least in the civil sense, yes, and
as long as you're engaged in your work duties and not on a personal quest of some sort.
Right. So,
well, Flux, you say that Flux, you were awesome, by the way. She's like a bad case of the herp. Just when you think she's gone, bam, she's right back there in your face. Pants are prison. Yes, pants are prison. I'm ruining the day when winter comes in and I actually have to start wearing them on the cast. Amandania, thank you so much for your super chat. She's addicted to attention and she's petty. I think she will appeal. Well, that sounds dangerously close to a description of me. I'm addicted to attention and I'm awfully damn petty, but I have nothing to appeal. So you're not wrong, by the way.
You appeal to our hearts.
Well, thank you so much, Kurt. We've got a, do we have a Brandon sighting? Is it the Brandon or just a Brandon? Oh, it is a Brandon. Let's go. I could call Mark Richards on and have him do his Rittenhouse opening. Shoot me, Binger. Shoot me, Binger. Oh, yeah. Well, you could. Welcome aboard, Brandon. Let's go. Always nice to have you here. So I have to keep track of the boozometer here. We're only a third of the way to the $100. All righty. Well, what do other legal experts. And it would be, I haven't read this in a couple of weeks, this article, but I think it'd be awesome if there was like a Chris Boozy quote in here, but there's probably not. I don't remember it. Well, here we have the jury may have come back with a victory for Johnny Depp in his defamation suit against ex-wife Amber Heard, but the legal drama is far from over. Heard's lawyers have said that she will appeal the decision, a process that will likely take years. Oh, imagine the grift for years and years and years, Kurt. Coming in hot and staying hot.
I don't think it's going to take that long, because the Court of Appeals is going to bounce it, because the case law doesn't really allow for it. They're not going to create new case law from nothing. And then we're off to the Virginia Supreme Court, who has to decide whether or not they want to hear it at all. I can't imagine it's going to take that long.
I mean, unless you just motion after motion after motion right before the deadlines for the motions, you could probably drag it out. But I mean, once things get going, I think it's going to go pretty fast. And it's certainly not going to be televised. So we'll just have to have either some people. I wonder if they Oh, well, maybe we can get the same people to head over to the courtroom this time and give us some firsthand accounts. First, do we need the background on the case itself? We know what happened. But this is what Kurt was talking about. Heard then countersued, claiming that Depp's attorney, Adam Waldman, as an agent of Depp, defamed her by calling her allegations a hoax in the Daily Mail. Well, turns out somehow she won that, which how surprised were you that the judge actually ruled in her favor? I mean, from a legal standpoint, and then from the jurors just wanted to go home standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
So from that, I extrapolate. You kind of feel legally there was no argument there, but the jurors said, "Okay, we just want to go home." So, and the judge said, "All right." Many legal experts doubted that Depp would win the case. Like who? I have yet to meet a single legal.
Well, no, I mean, to be fair, especially when we're talking about the early days of the case, I doubted Johnny Depp was going to win the case, and I think
you were one of the last to come around. I think.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that continues to sink the case is Amber Heard getting on the stand. If Amber Heard makes much more mild claims, she can win on a defamation standard, right? It's like,
yeah,
there's so much more room for ambiguity. But she's making these claims that are just not reflected by the evidence. And so, who could possibly predict in advance that Amber Heard's going to get on the stand and make these kinds of completely unsupported claims?
Like
it wasn't he slapped me once. It wasn't he pushed me once. It wasn't he grabbed my arm and left a bruise once. It's this completely violent thing. It's just, and then the next day, here's a picture of me on TV.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on.
I've been savaged by a Maker's Mark bottle that I don't know if it was broken off in me or not. Yeah, not. What was the point? I mean, I know we've talked about this before, but for the new people that haven't heard your explanation before, you were one of the, as I said, one of the last people to come around to the fact that she's either nuts and or not going to win. What was the turning point for you? When did the light kind of, her light go out and Johnny Depp's light go on in your mind?
If there was one moment that really sunk it for me, it's when she was on tape, like mocking him. It wasn't the Tell the World Johnny tape. It was a different one. It's like where she's just like mocking him and making these like fake crying noises and stuff. I don't remember the exact verbiage of the tape, but it turned my stomach so much because it was just so,
wow.
It was so just reviling. And so that one sort of tape, I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I can't play with this anymore.
Wow. For me, it was much earlier on in the game. It was, I mean, as anyone should, one side makes their opening statements and you go, oh, well, that sounds good. That sounds believable. Then the other side says, well, this is their opening statement. You go, oh, okay, well, now the ball's kind of, in the other side's court. That seems reasonable too. And then you start presenting the evidence. For me, it was, I guess, the same general relative time as you when she took the stand. The first time was when he said, he hit me, and then he hit me again, and then he hit me again, and then I fell down on the floor, and I noticed how dirty the carpet was. That was it from him. Go get that is clear bullshit to anyone who has ever been an abused person in their life. That nobody's going to buy this at all. So that was that was the moment for me. Like basically, as soon as she opened her mouth.
Yeah. So for me, it was somewhere around day 2.
You're like 24 to 48 hours further down the line than me. But I remember you holding your ground. And then at some point,
at least as always, it's like for me, it's trying to apply the right legal standards. And, and we've discussed this many times on legal standards. You have a person in Johnny Depp who's obviously a public figure, hard to be much more a public figure. Exactly what is and is not a public figure is somewhat open to debate. But if there's any such concept, he's one, right? And so we need actual malice, which we know doesn't have anything to do with actual hatred of the person. Sure. It's a term of art. It means that or recklessly or disregarding the truth of the statements, right? And when it comes to what happened in relationships, there can be some ambiguity of things, and there's open to potential interpretations. And so I'm like, okay, if we're trying to, and he has to prove it. He has to prove that she's lying. He has to prove that she's recklessly disregarding. He has to prove all that. It's like, this is a tough case to win. And so if she comes up with, he slapped me once, he grabbed me by the arm once, it's like, and he he verbally abused me, because you got stuff from Johnny Depp along those lines. You basically got the concept. I mean, we're having to stretch terms, but that's one of the wonderful things in like defamation. It's like we can play with the language a little bit. So it's like, well, what does abuse mean? Well, maybe it just means verbal abuse. So what is verbal abuse? Maybe it just means this. And so you had some concepts, and you had from Johnny Depp the concept that verbal abuse can be as bad or even worse than the physical abuse. So, when you're trying to apply the right legal standards, it's like, well, this is a really tough case to win. So maybe, I don't know if I was overly skeptical or not, but I was just trying to apply the correct standards as far as I could tell.
Well, I mean, you were doing what I was doing with the trial, being objective, saying, I don't know anything about these two people. They could both be serial killers for all I know, but I don't know anything about them. Let's see what the evidence shows. And it wrapped up pretty quick. Brandon Lesko, thank you so much for the super chat. Godzilla stepped on a bee. Yeah, we're rocking the Godzillas. I didn't leave the door open like I did last night. But
or is it a fish? Good. Is it a fish bee?
It's Eric the Half a Bee was a good Monty Python sketch. I still have not read that fish bee article that keeps popping up on my timeline. I'm refusing to read it.
It was a good video for me. I thought it was a very good video for me that one of the ones I've done recently that I really enjoyed.
I have no idea why I haven't watched it. It looks silly and it looks absurd, and I'm afraid of it. I'm frightened by the headlines. I'm just gonna get more stupid reading it or watching it. Oh, wow. But thank you so much, Brandon. We are $5 closer to our amazing mark of one little shot here. Kaiser Pineapple says, that was the same moment for me, League of Vices. I watched on Racket's channel. It was just weird and made no sense. And that's kind of the thing. When you start making weird statements that make no sense, your credibility starts to go away. But I'm curious to see what these other legal experts, other than Kurt and myself, have to say. The jury handed down the intent. We don't need to worry about the words. We all know that. Legal experts are divided on what Heard's team will or should do if they plan to appeal the case. First of all, I think they should plan not to appeal the case. Because clearly, if she dropped her appeal, Depp would drop his appeal. No question. No question about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
This is all being spearheaded by her. The jury seemed to find Depp's story more credible than hers. Seemed to. No, they did, to a tune of several $1 million. And experts agreed that appellate courts tend to be reluctant to reassess credibility judgments made by juries, even if this jury's conclusion seemed contradictory. I'm not sure how it seemed contradictory. This is time, so who knows? Anyone appealing has an uphill battle, says Rebecca Sullivan, a Washington, D.C. attorney who focuses on family law. Most likely, the lawyers who spoke to Time said, Heard's team will argue some legal error was made during the trial and will try to overturn.
That's usually a really good strategy on appeal, to argue a legal error. That's kind of, Yeah, that's genius work. Genius work time. Great. They're going to argue a legal error on appeal. Wow.
Here's
Tell me something else I didn't know.
Here's a secret for you all. Appellate courts only talk about legal errors. If you go in and say the jury found incorrectly that the dog did in fact step on a bee, the appellate judges are going to say, so go away. You can only appeal errors of law. So that, yeah, as Kurt said, but was it you that had the theory of where the potential mistake by the judge was? I can't remember what it was. I just remembered one of the Law 2 folks said there might be a legitimate legal issue for appeal
for her.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was or even what it was.
I think at one point Nate and I, when we were putting on our thinking hat, came up with an idea that we thought could work, but I can't remember what it is right now.
and that's why I think it was you. But anyway, I certainly hope. Well, in a way, I hope they don't argue a legal error, because then it would be even funnier than I thought it would be. And they'll try to overturn the verdict on the basis that the jury was influenced by things they saw and heard outside the courtroom.
Oh, maybe the jury instructions. Yeah, because there were mistakes in the jury instructions. Yeah.
Yes, it was the jury instruction.
Yeah, that was me spouting problems.
Yes, that was correct. Whatever Heard's team decides, an appeals court won't hand down a ruling anytime soon. It's a long, expensive process, said David Ring, a Los Angeles civil trial lawyer. He and other experts estimated the appeal would take 2 years minimum. Several attorneys who spoke with Time speculated it'll cost Heard hundreds of thousands of dollars in addition to the likely millions she's already spent in legal fees. Oh, I would guess it would be more than hundreds of thousands. If she's going to have to get a whole battalion of lawyers trying to scour through every single obscure statute and judgment that's ever been put on paper to come up with something that's going to be of any use for her.
Yep.
But when you're facing $15 million judgment, says Ring, you certainly have to probably you certainly have to probably pursue that. Spoken like a true lawyer, Ring. You certainly have to probably pursue that. Before the appeals process even begins, experts say it's likely that Heard or her insurance company, which we're going to talk about in a minute, will have to put up some sort of bond that shows I don't think her insurance company is going to be putting up a bond in this case. Judging from the fact they're suing everybody, we'll have to put up some sort of bond that shows she has or can raise that money that she owes Depp, given that Heard and her lawyers have said this trial has been a financial burden for the actor. Heard's ability to post the bond is not guaranteed. Still, I'm sure she can find some simp out there to do it. But still, if she does proceed, her team may have a better chance in front of an appeals court than the jury of 5 men and 2 women who awarded Depp damages. How? Well, that's kind of a statement, I guess. The trial was televised live. Jurors were not sequestered.
In a civil case, how
many times in history has that happened?
Trying to remember how many times in a civil case the jury's been sequestered. Like, if it happens, I can't think of one.
I remember when it came up, someone said that some analyst or somebody said that there was like one case 1 billion years ago where it happened for something, but you don't sequester jurors in civil cases. And videos and memes of Depp and Heard on the witness stand, including overwhelmingly pro-Depp commentary, were inescapable on social media platforms like TikTok. I would expect the appeal. So is that going to be for Johnny now? Is that going to be part of Johnny's appeal? Oh, now the tide has turned and everything's against me because people are bandwagoning on Amber Heard. Oh, yeah. See that pendulum swings both ways, Amber Heard fanatics. Again, I would expect the appellate portion of the case where the audience is judges to focus more on legal arguments and a lot less on the theatrics that we saw in the trial.
Oh my God.
Appellate
arguments are going to focus on the law.
Yeah.
Wow.
And one thing, I mean, Kurt will probably agree with this. The higher up the appellate chain you go, the more the balance of theatrics switches from the lawyers to the judges. There's some really cool stories about things that Supreme Court judges do just to intimidate and freak out people making arguments in front of them. Who was the one judge that would sit with their chair facing away from the lawyers? Oh, there was one Supreme Court justice that would do that. Would just turn his chair around and then just
Justice Thomas is famous for staring up at the ceiling, although he's been asking questions since they went to the whole Zoom format. So it'd be interesting to see now that I think they're going back into they're going back into having oral arguments in person again. It'll be interesting to see whether or not Justice Thomas continues asking questions or not.
See if he goes mute again. Wait for these legal arguments to be made on appeal. Ring agreed it was a spectacle, he said, of the original trial. On appeal, there'd be no cameras and no opportunity for Heard's testimony to be picked apart, edited, and misconstrued on social media. 3 appellate judges in the Virginia Court of Appeals would decide the case largely by sifting through documents written by attorneys for either side. That's how appeals work.
I don't understand. On appeal, there'd be no opportunity for Heard's testimony to be picked apart. They do understand there's no new testimony in the appeal, right?
Wait, did I read that wrong?
No, you didn't.
Okay, yeah.
You didn't read it wrong. It just didn't make any sense. There's no camera and no testimony to be picked apart. There's no testimony.
And no opportunity for Heard's testimony. Yeah, because there are no testimony.
What testimony?
Yeah. That's another thing. These characters will not be making any arguments. Their lawyers will be talking with stacks and stacks of paper in case the judge asks them a question. Like this paragraph says, it's all the appellate court's just gonna have a few questions essentially for the lawyers. How long do you think the trial would actually go? The actual from opening to closing of the actual hearing
for the appeal?
Yeah,
an hour.
That's how these things go. And like for the Supreme Court, you're lucky if they give you 15 minutes. Is it?
No, they give you a half hour per side.
Oh, do they? I thought, I think it was 15 minutes back when I was back when I was a young.
Some of the courts of appeal only give you 15. Like I think the Fourth Circuit only gives you 15 minutes, which Lord.
According to experts, there's an ad that pops up suddenly. Okay, there we are. There are a number of arguments Heard's team could make. Let's see if one of them is Kurt's argument. Her attorney, Elaine Bredehoft, made comments after the trial that would seem to suggest she will focus on evidence. She has suggested that some pieces of evidence Depp was able to introduce were prejudicial, while certain evidence from Heard's team was suppressed at trial, including evidence that was permitted in the UK trial but not in the US one. That ain't gonna work. That's just wishful thinking. The trial judge let in a lot of evidence in this case. Weird that you would let in evidence. A lot, says Ring. I think things went kind of far afield from what the real issues were. I kind of sort of agree with that, but when you keep opening the doors, you can keep stuffing things through that door. So that's the basis for an appeal, though not necessarily a great basis for appeal. So Ring doesn't think either of them have a great chance. He has that evidentiary rulings are rarely the basis used by an appellate court to overturn a jury.
No, that's tough. If you're into that kind of thing, you're into some sort of abuse of discretion analysis, and good luck.
Yeah. Marianne Franks, a professor at University of Miami School of Law who focuses on civil rights, said the Heard's team might challenge the judge's decision to allow the trial to be live streamed. No bullshit. A particularly unusual decision given the case involved allegations of sexual abuse and domestic violence. Criminal case, it probably wouldn't happen. I don't think this would have been televised if it were a criminal case. But this is a bunch of rich people wanting money, and you just kind of open up your life when you want people to open up their wallets. What do you think, Kurt? Would it have been televised in a criminal case?
I'm still waiting for something that makes any more sense than the remote possibility idea that I have of let's get the Virginia Supreme Court to change the law.
But trial by social media, does that help?
Not really, no. Again, you're into an abuse of discretion analysis. The judge allowed the television cameras. People watch the trial. People exercise their First Amendment rights to talk about the trial. Whether the opinion was pro-Depp or pro-Amber Heard. I mean, people have a ability to have an opinion. So,
Well, and then they go through the whole social media trial stuff here, and I think it's a pretty good argument, says Sullivan. What's so extraordinary about this trial, the social media and news coverage of it, kind of a circus of public opinion. O.J. Simpson, just think about that, and we're going to be seeing on Thursday when we watch some of this cross-examination of racist Mark Furman, where it's being televised, and the prosecutor, Marsha Clark, is literally saying you can't get away with those lies with all of these people watching, as she points to the camera. F. Lee Bailey says he talked to someone on the phone. Dateline immediately goes and finds that person, interviews them, and says, "Oh, I didn't talk to F. Lee Bailey." And then there's this big. That was a huge public opinion circus, and this is nothing compared to that. That went on for 11 months, 9 months actual court time with a sequestered jury of 265 days. So yeah, this is nothing compared to that. So to the extent that Heard's lawyers can argue they were influenced by outside factors that weren't admitted in trial, that actually has a pretty high likelihood of success, in my opinion. Probably a Harvard lawyer. Ring believes the argument would be a loser.
You can't do that for one very key reason. The presumption by law is that the jury follows the jury instructions, and the jury was instructed not to consider anything not heard in the case and to keep their deliberations to what they heard in the case. So you literally can't go into the appeal court and speculate your way into, which is what this would be. Speculation. Oh, they must have seen this. Oh, they must have based their decision on it. It's like, no, the presumption is the other way around. You can't enter new facts into the appeal. So
you would have to show hard evidence that one of the jurors completely flaunted that law or that instruction.
Yeah.
And if they had, you would already have heard about it.
Yeah.
And again, they talk about sequestering the jury. I mean, that's just stupid. We followed TMZ every night. That's what if they interviewed them and the jurors say we followed TMZ every night. Yeah, you got a basis for appeal, but I don't think anyone's going to admit that if it happened. So the consensus, even among legal experts, other than, of course, the two actual legal experts here, one being more legal experty than me, we all think it's a really slim to none chance.
Yeah.
And wow, we got 500 people here right now. So welcome to all of you new people that have joined in the chat.
I'm also disturbed by the fact that they apparently don't know what an appellate court is. It's like probably will focus on the law. Probably it will be based on the things in writing. There won't be an opportunity for people to pick apart Amber Heard's testimony. That won't exist.
But it's time, so they know. They don't have to check. They just know. And of you 500 people here, please jump over to Uncivil Law when we're all done here, or even right now, because we can open up two screens at the same time, And if you don't know who Uncivil Law is, one of the sharpest legal minds of our time, an absolute razor sharp assessments and analyses of court decisions and current and modern issues facing our legal society. Get over to Kurt Uncivil Law, subscribe to his channel, and while you're at it, give me a subscription too. I would love to have you subscribe to my channel if you're just joining us, if you haven't already done so. And we've all, like, half of you aren't doing your job again. We've got 506 concurrent viewers and only 297 likes. So hit the like button because YouTube needs to know how much you enjoy us being here. If you feel like joining the membership, please do that as well. We have one super chat to clear, I think. Okay. Thank you so much, Cherry Admax. Love you both. Love the Bumblebee fish story, Kurt. Give us a brief on the Bumblebee fish story. How is a bumblebee a fish?
So the short of it is that California has a Endangered Species Act of its own state law, and its state law allows for them to protect fish as a category, but doesn't allow them to protect bees as a category. But the statute in question talks about fish, blah, 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 and other invertebrates. Now, normally you would interpret it in the company of the things it keeps, right? You talk about other fish-related invertebrates, but apparently we mean all invertebrates. So fish, therefore, includes bees. So thus the decision from the California courts, bees are fish.
Solid. So that's sort of like back when I was a youngster and Ronald Reagan declared that ketchup is now a vegetable that can be used to replace vegetables on your school tray.
Yeah.
Ketchup can fill your vegetable portion. Okay.
Well, so let me sign off for now. I've got some other things I need to do with my day, but I just want to drop in and say hi.
We were just going to get into him dating his lawyer.
Well, I mean, I'll simply say this: as long as we're off, the case is long since gone in the UK. So if they want to have a dating relationship, I see no problem with that under any rules of ethics. So, go nuts.
He needs to think a little more, though. Oh, because what could possibly go wrong with that? Oh, well.
I don't know.
I like to probably draft up a really good
I like to think
prenup.
some lawyers are attractive.
Yeah. I know I am, but
Yeah.
like I said, I bet she can pull up a decent prenup somewhere, so to take care of him, I'm sure. Well, come back and come anytime. You are more than welcome all the time. Too bad you can't stick around a bit longer as we get into the salacious details.
I'll talk to you soon.
Take care. See ya. That was Uncivil Law, an absolute fine fellow. Go over, visit his channel, and like and subscribe to him. You won't regret it. He has some pretty interesting insight into a lot of things and quite amusing insights into others. We like Kurt. Kurt's good people. So that just leaves me here all by my lonesome. Welcome, everybody here. We are halfway to our first $100 drink here. So anyway, we'll get back to that if that ever happens. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and Super Chats gets you right to the front of the comment pile. Until then, bye, Kurt, says Amanda Sparkle. And Jillian Ann says, and Amber keeps talking about it while claiming not to care. Yeah. Capybara are fish too. I think capybara have backbones though. So Chi-Chi, you spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. JD is dating his UK lawyer, Joelle. She's sitting behind him during the trial. Well, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about next, is him dating his lawyer, Joelle Rich. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. Johnny Depp is dating his new lawyer. Ooh, not his new lawyer. His lawyer after his trial with Amber Heard. And no, it's not Camille Vasquez. Yeah, we were all shipping him and Camille Vasquez, but if you know anything, you know that your lawyer would be risking everything, literally everything, by dating you during the time they represent you. That is sort of one of the top ethical violations you could ever imagine. That would get your license pulled pretty darn quick if you were lucky. That's you don't do that. You do not date clients. Well, in the middle of trials, especially. So I mean, plus she has a boyfriend. So there's two reasons why that was never a thing, as much as some of you may have wanted it. But the English trial, the English hearings were over. And so that means once that's done and officially the books are closed, I guess you're free to get it on with your married lawyer. And that seems to be what he is doing. She says, I bet that pissed Amber off. I bet it did too. And good. I did wonder why she was at the AH trial. I don't remember her there. I mean, now that you go back and everybody's screen captured things I see, but I don't remember it at the time, and I don't remember anyone mentioning it at the time. I mean, any media type peeps. But anyway, it was courted in the courtroom. How salacious is that? As Rose says, it's legal for him to date ex-lawyer. Oh my God, is she married or separated? Let's get into the story and find out. Courted in the courtroom. Johnny Depp and Joelle Rich are dating 3 months after his defamation trial with his ex-wife Amber Heard. News broke that Depp and Rich, an attorney who represented him in his 2020 lawsuit against The Sun, were in a relationship broke on September 22nd, 2022, when Us Weekly reported that they were in a, quote, serious romance after they started, quote, discreetly dating amid Depp's trial with Heard throughout April and May 2022. Rich is Depp's first public relationship since his divorce from Heard in 2017. After 2 years of marriage, Depp was also married to makeup artist Lorianne Wilson from 83 to 85 and share 2 children with ex-girlfriend Vanessa Paradis. I forget how to pronounce her name, but anyway, and son Jack Depp and daughter Lily Rose. Depp and Paradis dated from 1998 to 2011. That's a long time to date. In an interview with Rolling Stone in 2013, Depp opened up about why he never married her, let's call her, despite their 13-year relationship. I never found myself needing that piece of paper. Marriage is really from soul to soul and heart to heart, he said at the time. You don't need somebody to say, okay, you're married. Relationships are very difficult, especially in the racket that I'm in, because you're constantly away and they're away, and it's hard. It's easy for her. It wasn't easy on me. wasn't easy on the kids. He continued, so yeah, the trajectory of that relationship, you play it out until it goes, one thing leads to another. So for whatever reason that ceases, it doesn't help the fact that you care for that person and they're the mother of your kids and you'll always know each other and you're going to be in each other's lives because of those kids. You may as well make the best of it. But back to Johnny Depp and Joelle Rich. Joelle Rich, sorry, not Joel. He's not dating anybody named Joel. So how did Johnny Depp and Joelle Rich start dating? And who is the Pirates of Caribbean star's new girlfriend? Read on for what we know about Johnny Depp and Joelle Rich's relationship ahead. Eve Barlow's Rotten Crotch, thank you so much for the super chat. Fingering a crocodile would be way more palatable than sitting through a retrial of this. And the crocodile would enjoy it more too. Waka, waka, waka. Hey. Thank you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Again, just slightly over halfway to the first alcoholic beverage of the evening, if we get to that point. So he continued, yes. Go away, ad. I don't want to sign up for anything. How did Johnny Depp and Joelle Rich start dating? How did Johnny Depp and Joelle Rich start dating? We just asked. Page 6, there's a reputable source, confirmed that on September 22nd, 2022, that Depp and Rich are dating after his defamation trial with his ex-wife Amber Heard. Page 6 also reported that Rich, a lawyer who represented Depp in his 2020 defamation suit against The Sun, was married when she met Depp, but has since separated from her husband and is in the middle of a divorce. Rich and her husband share 2 children. That's the answer to the question. Apparently, according to Page 6, the single most reputable source of news in the entire UK, she was married and then separated after they met. Potential salaciousness. D-Way, who cares if Johnny Depp is dating? Apparently, a shit ton of people on YouTube and Twitter. That's why we're talking about it. I personally don't, but hey, people like it, and that's why we're here. This is our unloading the little Johnny Depp and Amber Heard tidbits. Yep. So a source also told Us Weekly at the time that Depp and Rich's relationship is, quote, the real deal. Oh, Johnny. Their chemistry is off the charts, the insider said. Ooh, that sounds really close to things that they were saying about him and Amber Heard. It's serious between them. They are the real deal, the insider said. Yeah, always the insider. Who's this insider? While Rich wasn't one of the lawyers that represented Depp in his 2022 trial against Heard, she was present in the courtroom to, quote, support the actor, according to Us Weekly source. There was no professional obligation for her being there. It was personal, the insider said. I hope it's Isaac Baruch. That'd be cool. Adding that Depp and Rich discreetly met up in hotels in the early stages of their relationship. I need a soundboard like sound effects, so I don't have to do them all myself. They discreetly met up in hotels in the early stages of their relationship. Despite Us Weekly sources claim Depp and Rich's relationship is serious, an insider told people at the time that that's not the case. It's conflicting insiders. Us Weekly says, woo, ship them. People Insider says, ooh, don't ship them. Diablo Roja says, I feel like his chemistry is always off the charts. He's dated a lot of people and always seems to fall hard and fast. Yeah, and that's why if I cared really about what was happening, I would be highly disappointed in his inability to learn from past and previous mistakes. Not that I'm saying this is a mistake. If it's actually happening, it may not be happening if you believe people, but slow down a bit there, pal. Think a little bit clearly. Anyway, if whatever. They're dating, but it's not serious, the People source said. So who do we believe? Do we believe the People source or do we believe the Us Weekly source? Depp and Rich's relationship comes after Depp's other lawyer, Camille Vasquez, who represented him in his trial with Heard, responded to rumors that they were dating in an interview with People. I guess it comes with the territory of being a woman just doing her job, she said at the time. Sorry, I can't do a Camille Vasquez. It's disappointing that certain outlets kind of ran with it or said what my interactions with Johnny, who is a friend and I've known and represented for 4.5 years now, that my interactions in any way were inappropriate or unprofessional. That's disappointing to hear, she continued. Oh, period. She continued, I care very deeply about my clients, and we have obviously become close. But when I say we, I mean the entire team. And of course, that includes Johnny. And I'm Cuban and Colombian. I'm tactile. What do you want me to say? I hug everyone, and I'm not ashamed of that. I'm going to start using that. I'm Cuban and Colombian. I'm tactile. Even though there's not a drop of Cuban or Colombian blood in me, as far as I know, I'm just going to start saying that because I like it. Hey, I'm Cuban and Colombian. I'm tactile. We knew that Vasquez and Depp were not dating because why on earth would she throw away her career? Why on there would be just there. It's so stupid. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Okay. Oh no, we still have that. I almost read the crocodile super chat again. Vasquez also told people that, quote, my work is my love. And, quote, when I love really deeply. She also added of Depp, this man was fighting for his life, and it broke my heart to see him day in and day out have to sit there and listen to the most horrific allegations being made against him. And if I could provide any bit of comfort, then of course I would do that, whether it's holding his hand or letting him know that we were there. Go away. And that we were going to fight for him because he deserved it. Plus, his new girlfriend is sitting right back there. Yeah. Vasquez also called romance rumors between her and Depp sexist and unethical. It's also unethical. It's also an unethical charge being made. It's sexist, she said. It's unfortunate and it's disappointing, but at the same time, it kind of comes with the territory. I can't say that I was all that surprised. A source told People at the time that rumors of a relationship between Depp and Vasquez were entirely 100% unequivocally untrue. Damn, I wish these ads would stop flashing, changing sizes. God dang it. Vasquez, for her part, is dating WeWork executive. WeWork. The things I could say about WeWork. Is dating WeWork executive Edward Owen. She told People at the time that she was very happy, like People magazine, not just People. She told People at the time that she was very happy in my relationship and emphasized it was unethical for us to date our clients. She didn't say, and I wouldn't even if I could. So maybe because she's tactile. Who is Johnny Depp's girlfriend, Joelle Rich? Uh-oh. There we go. There's some shipping we need to start looking at right there. We need some Vasquez Rich shipping going on there. Who is Johnny Depp's girlfriend, Joelle Rich? Well, let's find out. That's a good question. So, Joelle Rich lives in London. We know that. She's an attorney. We know that. And a partner. Okay, so she's partner level at the law firm Schillings International with a specialty in libel, privacy, and copyright cases. Joelle helps individuals. See, this is how forgiving and kind and caring that Johnny Depp is. He's dating a lawyer that represented him in a case that he lost. Oh, what a nice guy. Good for him. Oh, another incoming super chat. Do ads in Japan reflect Google searches like the US? I'm sure they do in Japan. I'm in Korea, and yes, they do. It's the same random stuff. Where you mention something that you've never, ever, ever talked about in your life, and then suddenly you have 937 ads about that thing popping up. Yeah, anything you do on Google search is immediately, any online shopping places that you go to, any pages you look at immediately become advertisements and things like that. So I have to be really careful what I search for on this computer, because you search for a lot of really weird things getting ready for the types of streams I do. So you kind of have to really be careful so you're not scrolling through and people wonder what you're doing in your spare time. So anyway, she works for this libel firm, specialty libel privacy and copyright firm. Joelle helps individuals and families in the public eye protect their privacy and reputations both in and outside of the courtroom. Read her biography on the firm's website. Often acting for her clients in times of crisis, Joelle works to defend their reputations against false and defamatory allegations in print, online, and on social media. She has particular expertise. Oh, damn it. See, we talk about shopping and then YouTube blocks out an entire screen saying now would be a good time to insert ads in your stream. No, it's not. I'm not inserting ads in my stream. In fact, I'm going to take this one off. Thank you so much for that super chat, by the way. Righty. Jerry says, lol, second time I said Japan. Sorry. JD is the kind of guy you could have a mega pint with. Yeah, I left my Johnny Depp mega pint Legal Vices pimp cup in the other room today because I wanted to rock the Yeti tonight. But the Yeti is empty, so about $50 more worth of super chats, and the Yeti gets a splash of the good stuff. Until then, I'm dry. She has a particular expertise in protecting individuals' privacy from unwanted intrusions in social media. With over a decade of experience in media law, Joelle is able to astutely identify risks to clients' privacy and reputation, devising effective strategies to safeguard them. Her biography continues. Why didn't they just copy and paste her biography? They're going to quote the entire thing. Her biography continues. She has a wealth of expertise in libel, privacy, and copyright disputes, having recently been part of the team which won a major privacy and copyright case in the public eye, and having also led to a recent high-profile libel claim. A highly experienced litigator, Joelle's objective is to use the law to ensure that her clients are protected from arbitrary interference into their personal or business lives. All right. Goodbye, Handmaid's Tale advertisement. Rich won the Silver Award for the Future Leader Initiative of the Year at the City Wealth Future Leaders Awards in 2021 and was shortlisted as a finalist for the Future Leader in Private Client Services Award at the Spearhead Wealth Management Awards in 2021. According to Us Weekly, Rich is married but separated from her husband, who she's divorcing. She and her husband have 2 kids. Oh, and Rose just gifted 5 Legal Vices memberships to 5 lucky people. Thank you so much for that, Rose. That is amazing, and that is wonderful and generous, not only to me, but also to the 5 people who are lucky enough to get the memberships. And these are assigned at random, so make sure your accept gifts little check is checked on your YouTube, what are you going to call it, settings. Eve Barlow. Rotten Crotch. As long as we're talking about Amber Heard, it's only fitting that Eve Barlow's Rotten Crotch should win a membership. Patty G. Jersey Girl was gifted a membership. Gabrielle Wunderlich was gifted a membership. Erica Straub was gifted a membership. And Cocoa Bean 666 Full was gifted a membership. Thank you so much. That was very, very generous of you. Thank you so much. Rose, you're awesome. Rose says, you always make sure your gift receiving is set to on so you won't miss a gift of membership. Exactly. Wow. That's very nice. Even Eve Barlow says thank you. Hey, dogs, stop it. Go away. All right. On with the story. So she's an overachiever. She's achieving a lot of things. She was shortlisted for this management award, and she's leaving her husband. Oh, that's the end. That's all we get to know about her. She's a high-powered partner at a firm that specializes in libel cases and social media issues. And she was apparently married. And then, I doubt she would abandon her entire family so quickly after meeting Johnny Depp or representing him in court. So I'm assuming that who the frick cares what I'm saying? I'm assuming there was problems before and they were planning on leaving, and now this is the way out. But so they are separated and they are getting a divorce. Johnny, I'm worried. Johnny does not seem to make the best decisions when it comes to women. But again, I don't really care. I mean, it means nothing to me. No skin off my nose. But dang, you hate to see this happen again. Tina Reynolds says, I think I will make some Colorado Bulldogs next week. Yum. I have no idea what a Colorado Bulldog is. I've got two English bulldogs under my desk. I do not know what a Colorado bulldog is. I hope it's a cocktail, and I hope it's really delicious, but I don't know. So that's where we are now. The first two articles summed up that legal experts don't think she has a really great chance on appeal. And of course, as so many other people, the article just focused on Amber Heard's possibilities of appeal. Michelle W says, no skin off your nose. You mean no shit in your bed? Yeah. Michael Palmer, sorry. Jeff, answer my question regarding Furman. Scrolling up to find your question about Mark Furman. I do not see a question about Mark Furman. Mark Furman. Huh. I do not see it here. Ask it again, please. If you had a question, I will ask it. I just didn't. Okay, here we go. I guess you hadn't asked it yet. All right. If Furman is such a racist, why didn't he arrest OJ when he went to their residence on a DV call years prior when OJ busted her windshield and she was found hiding in the buses all muddy and bruised? I don't know. But we'll discuss his racism on Thursday. And the next few Thursdays after that. Yep, I don't have an answer for that. Okay. Oh, my Lord God Almighty. It is Steph in the house. What's up, girl? Steph, super Steph, Steph, throwing down the drink. Here's the rest. I only needed, we were only halfway there to the first shot, but now Steph. Oh, my Lord, Steph. We got the Buffalo Trace here tonight. This is not a drunk stream, but hey, rules are rules are rules. So, yeah. Ooh, a good ounce of goodness there. Steph, thank you so much. Oh, my God, you're the best. Deeply, deeply appreciated. To Steph, the mod, the good mod, the secret mod, the mod who lurks, the mod who she who knocks. She is the one who knocks. Steph does a lot of lurking behind the scenes and swoops in when it's necessary to drop ban hammers to keep you degenerates in line. And she's the mother hen that prowls around. Hens probably don't prowl. She's the mother something that prowls around. Lion. She's the mother lion that prowls around and make sure she's keeping all of her cubs in order. And those are you. Cheers, Steph. Thank you for all of your service and kindness as a mod and a friend and a wonderful human being. Long live Steph. Cheers. Woo-hoo, yeah. That was good. That hit the back of my throat. I drank it too fast. Woohoo. Okay. Yep. I just threw it right back and it just hit the back of my throat instead of sliding gently down as it should have. Rose Lash said you like the glass. Yep. These Glencairn glasses are the only way to drink a really, really good whiskey. And Buffalo Trace is a good whiskey. It's not a really, really good whiskey, but it's a good whiskey. Bernie's Conclass, what time is it where you are, Jeff? It is now 10:11 p.m. 11 minutes after 10 p.m. on a Tuesday evening. Tony G, it hits the back of my throat. Title of your sex tape. Probably. All right. So we were halfway to the cumulative $100 first shot. Now because of I'm not drunk yet. Because of Steph, we are already halfway to our second shot. I read this and said Rose and said, Steph, exactly 100, same as when I'm working in the house. Lol. I was going to talk to Steph and I saw Rose talking to Steph and I just kind of inceptioned myself. Kurt, why is nobody going on the Nicholas Cruz trial? I thought Nick was going to do it. Kurt has left the building a long time ago. You're behind. Catch up. I don't know the answer to your question, by the way. When you finally get to this point, you'll find out I have no idea. Yes, Buffalo Trace bourbon is 45% alcohol yumminess. It is a great base, and it was actually the basis. That's what I had as the base for my old fashioned at the beginning of the show. So, all right. Let's do our quick midstream grift here, and then we'll jump back into the next deal, which is the upcoming Amber Heard Johnny Depp movie. We've got movie sign. But here we are. We got 523 concurrent viewers. Welcome to all of you. I'm so happy you're here, and I'm so happy you're sticking around. We've got 420 likes. So a lot of you are doing your jobs. That's a great, wonderful thing. But there's still at least 100 of you that haven't. So if you've been here more than 30 seconds, that obviously means you enjoy it and you like it. So please do me the favor of just reaching down there and hit that like button. Let's get this thing up to like 500 likes really, really quick here. We can get 500 likes just like that. And then if we get up to 600 likes, then YouTube will really know that you like me and you want me to stick around. And hit the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would be honored if you would do me that favor of also subscribing to the channel and coming back for more. We have a membership program you can join, but that's entirely up to you. Occasionally, oh my Lord God in heaven. Staff, we'll get back to you here. Let me finish my grift before I get into that grift. Oh Lord. Okay. Join the membership if that's something you want to do. Once or twice a month, we're going to be having members only streams. We did one last Sunday where we just sat and talked, and Fair and Balanced joined us. We had a good time. We'll be doing that. And then there's some members only posts. I've been kind of lax with the members only posts. I'm sorry. I will unfuck myself, and I will be doing more of that in the future. So if that's your thing, if you want to join. Sometimes people some people will throw out the gift memberships like Rose did just a few minutes ago. And if you're lucky enough to snag one, you can enjoy it for a month and then decide if you want to continue on or not. Super chats, again, are not a requirement, but they are never turned down and they're always encouraged. The only time we really super grift is on the drunken grifty booze. Oh, God damn it, you guys. The only time we really grift, and we only do this, listen up, you two, is on the F It Friday. We just call it F It Friday because we just say F it and we talk about anything, we do anything, and I do nothing but grift hard for 2 or 3 hours or until I pass out. It's $100 shots, and that's it. This upcoming one is next Friday the 7th, which we will have a large number of really important YouTubers, LawTubers especially, coming on, so I can thank them for helping me get to 25,000. Now, I think it would be funny, and it's never going to happen, but if we could get to 26,000 subscribers within the next week, that means I would need another 760 subscribers in the next week, which isn't going to happen. But I think it would be really, really funny if we could have 26,000 subscribers by the time I get around to doing my 25,000 subscriber stream. But I'm going to have some of the big YouTube LawTube names that helped me get to the 25,000 subscribers on my stream on Friday, and we'll see how long I last. I just kind of go until I have to tap out, and I do that so I don't have to grift as hard for the rest of the month. Brandon says we need incentive. It's time for, oh God, Tippling Tuesday. Let's not do that because there's Work Wednesday follows Tippling Tuesday. Oh God. All right. We gotta go back here and collect our thoughts. Let's get this one out of the way while I'm still sober enough to do it. Cats and Quilts, thank you so much for the super sticker. That is a super chicken and a turquoise colored something. Thank you so much for that. Deeply appreciate that. Ah, Lordy. Now we've got Steph. I said you were awesome a minute ago. I might have to take that back because now you're just torturing me. This one's not going to hit the back of my throat. That's the title of my second sex tape. All right. Intercourse. That's how you drink it. Thank you, Steph. Again, cheers, Steph. You're awesome. You're one of the best there is. Everything you do is deeply, deeply appreciated. And Brandon, cheers to Brandon. I'm saving all of the super chats that generous Brandon Lesko donates to fund my liver transplant, which he will solely and personally be responsible for when it comes time to do that, probably in about a year from now. Brandon Lesko, thanks to you and the other iterations of Brandons out there. I want to say something good, but frankly, you scare me. Cheers. Thank you so much. Deeply appreciated. Whew. Stop, drink, but do hemp puff. We don't do that here in Korea. No way. What kind of a toast will he give? Let's go, Brandon. Probably not all rainbows and unicorns. Nah. Not all rainbows and unicorns. All right. I can retain Coleman just as easy as Nate can. Oh, God. Wow. All right. Three shots in quick succession because of you degenerates. I had to turn the fan on now. I have now started sweating profusely. Thank you for that. Great. Now that we've gotten my alcoholism in check. See, that's the thing, pizza girl. That's the thing. Brandon, let's go. So, kind of did say that. You mean not Brandon Lesko and definitely not Brandon Lesko. Yes, exactly. Okay. Oh yeah, it is. Hemp, anything like that is way illegal here. Drugs are drugs are drugs are drugs are drugs. There is virtually, literally no difference between smoking weed and shooting up crack or doing meth. I mean, it's just drugs are drugs. It's all illegal. Nothing good comes of it. So, yep, we don't do that here. What are you laughing at, Steph? Oh, Steph, you make me laugh. Oh, God. Yeah, one YouTuber was asking $500 a shot and getting it. Yeah, well, Nick does that because he's Nick. I do that because I'm Legal Vices. The first time I did it, I did $50 shots, and I was liquored out of my damn mind about 20 minutes into the show because some of y'all just have too much disposable income. So on the regular days, it's just once everything accumulates to $100, we do a shot, unless Steph and Brandon Lesko come in, then shit goes off the rail. But anyway, let's get back to the main topic of the evening. I've grifted way too long here. Like, subscribe. We're doing like 486 likes. Come on, 14 more likes. Give me up to the 500, and then we'll work on the 600. So just 14 more of you that haven't hit the like button. I'm guilting you into doing this. Guilt. Okay, great. Go and do this. Hit the subscribe button. We're currently at 25,242. I know not all of you are subscribed. Let's see how high we can get the subscription rate going tonight. And come back later and leave a comment, because YouTube counts that as engagement, and that's one of their big indicators for whether or not they recommend my videos, and that helps the channel grow. But until it grows, let's see what's happening to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard movie, because if there's one thing we all needed and wanted in our life, it's a film about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Let's see how long I can continue reading this. Steph, Brandon, thank you. Seriously. All joking aside, deeply appreciated. That face. My dog stepped on a bee. All right. I got to organize my screen here. Oh, where are we at here? Somebody said back. Who's back? Dang it. The thing scrolled up to. It wasn't Nick? Oh, okay. Well, I know Nick does it, but whoever does it, good. I think Joe's does $500 shots. Anyway, not me. I'm the working man's drunk. Oh, I can't. Meme Copium raid. We're being raided by Meme Copium. Welcome, Meme Copium viewers. It is so nice and awesome to have you here. Welcome, everybody. We are talking about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp rumors, news, and abuse and boozy. That's what we're doing here. We would be thrilled to have your presence, but the only requirement for entry is you hit the like and subscribe button if you have not already done so. So great. Welcome here, Meme Copium. By the way, if you don't know who Meme Copium is, he's a YouTuber that lives in Japan. He does some awesome work. He does sort of some fringe internet things and pop culture things that are really, really awesome. And you cannot go wrong liking and subscribing to Meme Copium. In fact, I think I'm going to invite Meme Copium to join here if he's not busy, if he's here and not doing things. I'll invite him on so you can meet him. It's always it's much more fun to rant with someone else than just ranting by yourself. So Meme Copium, if you're here, join me. I just sent you the link. Would love to have you on so that people can meet you. And in the time it took me to do that, Stephanie and Patty B Photography have decided that they want to destroy me. Steph, I don't think you're spicy enough yet. Cheers. Mind you, Tippler Tuesday is followed by Working Wednesday. Oh, God. Oh, I poured way too much that time. We can just put it back where it came from. There we go. Steph, I've run out of cheers to tell you how awesome you are. Thank you so much for everything. Deeply appreciated. My favorite lurker mod that just lurks in the background, waiting to strike like a coiled cobra. Thanks. All right. And contributing to the minor fund, we have Patty B Photography. I think Oof. Whew. Okay, we are closing in on the just the accumulated $100 here. Patty B Photography, always forget it's not morning there. Intervention. Yeah, it's not morning here. It is 10:25 p.m. as we go into talk about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp movie. We've got movie sign. Ugh. And this is something y'all can watch in the very, very near future. Love you, Steph. Rose, Legal Vices, you're going to have to do some rhymes like Tom Cruise on the movie. I'm not a rhymer. Oh, and here we go to help us. Meme Copium in the house. Good evening, sir.
A quick ad. I wasn't prepared. How's it going, Jeff?
We are doing very well. Thank you for rating me.
Oh, no worries. There's more people are starting to stream at this time of the night. It's good. I get to raid a bunch of people.
Yeah, well, I wish they wouldn't, because then it dilutes us.
People say that, but I don't believe it's true. YouTube is so vast and they're so large that I think there's a lot of space for everybody. Everybody's got these slightly different audiences. There is a bit of overlap with most of us, but
here in this time zone, it's pretty much you, me, and what's Hayden calling himself these days? Aussie Overlord.
Aussie Overlord. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while to get used to that.
Yeah, formerly known as Law Patrol.
Yeah, he did need to be rebranded.
I'm not reading poems. 407 years. That's not really a poem. That's more the Gettysburg Address. Once upon a midnight weary. I'm too drunk to even quote Poe. Damn it. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. Yeah, okay. I can still do it. Not all 100 stanzas of the Raven, but I did memorize the Raven in middle school. But we're talking about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp stuff tonight. Welcome. As someone said in my chat, the turd that will not flush, Amber Heard. There's a movie coming out in a few days.
Really? With Amber Heard in it, or?
No, about them.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're talking about right now. We're just getting into the article. So for those of you that have put up with my grifty shit for the last 20 minutes, Apologies for that. I don't expect it to go like 2 or 3 minutes, but we got sidetracked with the mods liquoring me up, which, hey, got to do what you got to do.
Sounds like the average Tuesday.
Pretty much, yeah. They let's call it Tippler Tuesday. I'm like, yeah, it's followed by Work Wednesday, so be careful. Film about Johnny Depp, Amber Heard to be rush released. Yeah, anything that is rush released is by its nature shit. And this is a shitty topic about someone who shits on the bed, so it's going to be like a triple shit, I think. Hot take. I don't know how hot. How hot is this take? The Depp-Heard trial will be released. That's what it's called. Hot take. The Depp-Heard trial will be released on 30 September on the Tubi streaming service, the Teletubbies, I guess. A film about the recent Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial is to be rush released on the Tubi streaming service. And the first time I read this article was the very first time I ever heard of the Tubi streaming service.
Me too. Like, the funny thing is, like, when we talk about pirating things, like one of the reasons that most people pirate things is because the unavailability or just the general difficulty in acquiring something. And I think,
as someone who has never and will never pirate anything in my life, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But like when Netflix first came about, people were actually very happy to pay for it because people were like, if they could acquire what they wanted cheaply and efficiently, they're willing to pay for it rather than steal it. Now, there's so many streaming services now. Everybody's just going back to pirating because they're just like, well, I mean, this is just too much. Like, I'm not going to have Hulu, Netflix, Amazon. It's too much. It's too much.
But like, remember when that was the deal? It's like where you're cutting your cable. You're cutting the cable because you're not going to pay $120 a month, and now you're probably paying $250 a month in streaming services. They got you. They got you, gullible fuckers.
I never had cable when I was a kid. Like New Zealand, growing up, we had 3 TV channels.
We got cable when I was 8. And yeah, we had like 2, 4, 5, and then 13 came. We're like, ooh, a new channel. So yeah, they got you. They got everybody. Cut the cable, and then you spend twice as much on the individual streaming. Well, it's only $10 a month, but yeah, you got 15 of them.
It adds up.
You adds up. Yeah. Well, this film about Johnny Depp, Amber Heard is being rushed on this mysterious Tubi streaming service, according to Variety. Hot take. That's just the stupidest fucking name too. Hot take. The Depp-Heard trial will dramatize events around the legal action that played out over 6 weeks earlier this year and will follow the tumultuous relationship between the pair. Hot take stars Mark Hapka as Depp and Megan Davis as Heard, and is directed by Sarah Lohman. 3 people I've never heard of before. Previously responsible for a horror film Off the Grid, which I was going to say that
too, that I haven't heard of any of these actors.
It's a rush release. Hot cakes, says Adrian. Oh, Patty B Photography. Enough is enough. Can't this go away? Please just go away. We're tired of these people. Mostly Amber Heard by 99%, but nobody cares. Yeah, that's why I said it's like everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about these guys for? Who cares? Apparently a huge fuck ton of people on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch and Twitter care about the Amber Heard trial. That's why we're doing it. I just kind of just like I wait until there's enough news articles that I can coagulate them into one stream, and we just kind of reached critical mass today. So, yeah, Mark Hapka, famous, probably not. The trial, which concluded on 1 June, saw Depp win on 3 counts in his defamation action against his former wife, while Heard won on 1 count of her countersuit. Depp had claimed that an article, blah, blah, blah. We know what the hell all this is shit about. We don't need to redo all this. Tubi, a streaming service owned by Fox. Wow. Here you go. Will show the film free peeps, free from 30 September, 3 days from now. That'll be this Friday, where it operates. In countries where it operates, which includes US, Australia, and New Zealand, it will not be available in the UK or EU. Well, if there was a VPN sponsoring me, I would now give my VPN sponsorship. But hey,
yeah, then you could set your location to the UK and you wouldn't be able to watch it.
Exactly. It wouldn't be forced upon you.
Exactly. Right. I was going to say, like, I was like, after all these lockdowns and everything are kind of finally ending for Japan, I was thinking about visiting my family over in.
Yes, you get to move around next month.
But I don't know. Maybe I'll wait a few more months. Maybe I'll just wait.
Well, see what happened in Korea, because Korea just started opening up the end of like May and June, and really just kind of opened up in July. And what happened was ticket prices went from like $200 and $300 round trip from the US to I paid for round trip economy class from Seoul, Korea to Salt Lake City, Utah, and back to Seoul, Korea for just about $4,000.
That seems high.
Well, it's because everybody can go, so everybody wanted to leave, and there's still a limited number of flights and a maximum number of people. And I thought, well, I haven't gone in 3 years, so I'm going to fly business class. Business class was 10 grand. First class was about 15 grand, and the economy class was 4. And I'm like, well, shit.
The last time I flew from New Zealand to Japan, it was $500 one way. I think it's now about 4,000 return. Yep. It's incredible.
Yep. Just because everybody wants to go and there's not enough carriers, and yeah. Well, that's the reality of where we are, but more than that, we have I guess that's the end of the article. Whew, thank God that we had more to read. This is just like please give the Guardian some money. Nope. Again, what you're saying, if it's available, why pay for it?
Why would anyone pay for the Guardian, by the way? We've
got a movie coming up for free on Tubi. So Tubi away.
Still too much.
Free is too much for Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Yeah. Oh Lord.
Has Amber Heard done anything since the trial? Like,
well, no, that's kind of where we're going. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go there next. That's kind of the subject of the next story. You know how they 10, 20 years after things happen, they do, where are they now? Well, this is the Amber Heard 3 months later, where are they now thing. Net worth.
Oh, no.
Amber Heard's net worth in the house. This expression here on Amber's face tells you all you need to know about her net worth.
Yeah, I mean, people were talking about her doing a one-off film of that couldn't play in theaters. We'll say might be the only way to recoup losses from the trial, but I don't know if even that's going to work at this point. I don't know. I think she's just done.
Yeah. Well, statuesque Miss 2845, our super amazing 6'3" lovely woman, has said, "Yeah, Tubi isn't bad," or okay, you've heard of it. Congratulations to you. You're better than I am. I have not. You just have to sift through the garbage, but that is with every streaming service, and Tubi is free, so dope. All right. I will admit, probably going to stream it next week to see if I get a copyright claim or strike. I'll probably stream it. Yeah, I'll probably be streaming it next week just so I don't have to think of anything to do on a particular night.
You're gonna have to put a lot of pauses in that to try and get past the censors.
Well,
if they register a copyright anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll have to see how it goes. You know,
if it's a documentary, I could see that maybe it would work. We'll see.
Weirdly, when I do like my Maritime Mondays and things, and do the Fair and Balanced Freaky Friday things, the documentaries are the ones that get claimed.
Are they from the BBC?
From everywhere. Discovery.
BBC is the worst one in my experience. Even a couple of seconds of their any of their content, they just get shut you down immediately. It's insane.
Well, maybe the new king will say, "Hey, let's chill a bit." If he even knows what the internet is.
Oh, maybe.
All righty. What's Amber Heard's net worth? Let's look at that. Again, 535 of you, 547 likes. We've passed the threshold of likes versus viewers, which is awesome. I have a weirdly high like to viewership ratio, which means you guys are awesome in doing your jobs and hitting the like button. But I know we've had a huge turnover because my average viewership is about 25 to 29 minutes. So that means we've had at least a whole turnover of everybody. So some of you aren't doing your job. Go down and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. We picked up a few subscribers since we started because you guys are so awesome. Now let's see how awesome you are. You're obviously more awesome than Amber Heard, because even if you don't have a lot of money, even if you struggle to live paycheck to paycheck, you still have more money than Amber Heard does at this point, apparently. If you figure in the judgment and everything, you're doing better than Amber Heard is. Net worth from the Animated Times. This is the I suppose this is how this porno took over mainstream movie theaters. Okay.
This is the open up.
This is probably the debt collectors coming after Amber Heard's money. Oh, Deep Throat. All right, let's keep scrolling. Johnny Depp's career took a massive dip when Amber Heard separated from him and accused him of verbal and physical abuse back in 2016. The widely publicized, yes, it was widely publicized, 6-week defamation trial between Depp and Heard had him emerging victorious, and almost the entire film fraternity and fans coming together in support of the legendary actor. Depp got his redemption. Thank God for that. Thank God. And he's the one that's getting on with his life. He's the one that's getting deals. He's back. And I'm quite frankly very happy about that.
It's such sour grapes coming from the Amber Heard side. Like, from time to time, I would check over what the Depp Delusion's doing, which are the small group of zealots that still believe that Amber did nothing wrong and that she was unjustly attacked. But every time Johnny Depp appears in anything like a commercial, they'll be like, "Look at this! Johnny Depp is reduced to doing these commercials." I mean, commercials that he was doing before the entire thing. Like, he's getting back his life, and they're just like, "Look at this man, ridiculous, getting his life back in order." Like, they're so mad that he's doing well. They just hate it. It's insane.
Well, that was when he did the MTV Awards. The Eve Barlow's team was like, "Oh, this is the only thing this washed up actor can do is be a video spaceman." And YouTube, MTV came to him and he's like, "Oh, that would be fucking hilarious. Let's do it."
And he had a bit of like self-deprecating humor there, right? As well.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I'll do anything. I'll do bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm a dentist. He was totally making fun of it because he knew his life is back on track, and hers isn't, quite frankly. Ever since the trial, he's been a successful European tour with Jeff Beck, and again, the Hollywood Vampires is performing now in the U.S.
Oh, right.
And yeah. Have you listened to the Hollywood Vampires meme?
I actually have not.
Good stuff.
Really?
Got Joe Perry from Aerosmith, Alice Cooper, Johnny Depp, and Alice Cooper's guitarist. So yeah, it's great. You got Johnny Depp, Alice Cooper, and Joe Perry from Aerosmith. They founded the group, and then they have like rotating band members that come in and go.
That's pretty cool stuff. I think Johnny always wanted to be a musician over an actor, didn't he? Like, that was his dream. Like, he was doing acting as a way to fund his actual musical endeavors. So
yeah, and that's why I was thinking, why would I chop off my own finger when it's like sort of important to me playing the guitar?
Exactly right.
That was his argument. But yeah, I'm just a huge Alice Cooper fan. I have been since I was like 8 years old. And the fact that I'm this fucking old guy and I've been listening to Alice Cooper religiously since I was 8 years old. The guy's 74 and still touring, so good for him. Wow, that was a sidetrack. He's been on a successful European tour with Jeff Beck. He has some film offers lined up as well, and he's also directing a film. What's the film he's directing?
Johnny Depp.
Damn it! It's a good subject matter. It's not an artist. Johnny Depp, director, artist. Can't remember what the art. It's starting like Robert De Niro, I believe, or Al Pacino, one of the two. Artist movie. Oh, about Modigliani. Yeah, okay. And it's Al Pacino. Al Pacino will be in the titular role as the artist Modigliani.
Okay.
So yeah, good for him. He's actually doing shit. However, the same can't be said of Amber Heard. She was a very successful actor.
I don't know.
What comments meme on Amber Heard?
I'll be 100% honest. I never heard the name Amber Heard before the Johnny Depp trial. When I watched it, I didn't recognize her. Then somebody told me she was an Aquaman. I was like, oh, I think I saw that movie once. I literally have only ever seen her in the Aquaman movie, and I didn't even recognize her. I didn't even remember her name.
I challenge you. I will bet you have seen because I know you, I know the things you talk about, and I know your style. I know for a fact you have seen her in one other movie.
What movie could it be?
But we'll get to that in a minute because I did the same thing you did. I mean, when it first happened, okay, let me get this before I forget. Brandon, let's go. Let's go, Brandon. Viva just caught the Spirit to fly the friendly skies. How is our working man's drunk up there in first class? Viva's got to be the one flying first class, not me. I could barely fucking afford economy this last trip to the States. But yeah, I had to get that out of the way before I forgot. But yeah, I did the same thing. I remember when the allegations were first made. And okay, he's dating somebody named Amber Heard. Didn't think about it for 2 years. And then it came time for the trial. And I'm like, well, I guess I should, excuse me. I guess I should figure out who this Amber Heard character is. And I went, oh, she played that redheaded chick in the shitty DC movies. Okay. That was literally the only thing I knew about her.
Yeah, that's my only thought. I'm trying to think of the movie without cheating, like without looking it up. I'm trying to think of what other movie she could have been in that I've seen.
Zombieland.
Oh, okay.
She was the crazy girlfriend next door at the beginning of the movie.
A role that she was very well suited for.
You've seen Zombieland, right?
Of course, I've seen Zombieland.
Yeah. She was the girl that turned, and the guy was like all excited about having the hot girl paying attention to him next door, and she came in and turned into the zombie and tried to attack him, and he had to bash her head in with the
That's
the
like
toilet
such
cover.
a bit role though. Is she in the movie for like 30 milliseconds or something? Their claim to fame.
Yeah, it was a couple minutes, and I went, oh, that was her. Okay. I haven't seen Rum Diaries.
She was trying to claim that she should be. What was it? She was trying to claim during the trial.
She was throwing down named Chris Pine, Jason Momoa, Gal Gadot. Those are the people that she was saying that she was on par with. It's like, you do know you're Amber Heard, don't you, bitch? Seriously?
Yeah, like if she's trying to. Was that the expert that came in and was saying like Amber Heard is not on the same, anywhere near the same length as Jason Momoa for getting funding in Aquaman?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This
It's just delusions.
It is, right?
And again, this is why I think she had to have told them to compare them, because any analyst worth. I mean, fuck, I'm not even an analyst, and if you asked me to compare them, I'd say get out of here. She said, I want you to compare me to these people.
Well, I mean, the thing is, actors are paid by how many people they can put in the seats. Johnny Depp puts people in the seats. Jason Momoa puts a lot of women in the seats, specifically. Yeah. Chris Hemsworth.
Until he cut his hair. Now women are like, He just shaved off all of his hair last week.
Really?
To protest single-use plastics.
Okay. I don't. I mean, he should not come to Asia. We have so many. Like, have you ever got like a box of Korean cookies? I assume it's the same as in Japan. Like, every individual thing is.
Yeah. You have a bag of cookies that has a plastic wrap around it. You take off the plastic wrap to get to the cookie container. You open the cookie container, slide out the plastic tray, and the plastic tray is divided into 4 individually plastic wrapped sections of cookies. You open up one individual section of cookies, and then you have you have packets of 2 cookies that are lined individually packaged. You open up the package of 2, and then each cookie inside of that is packaged.
Yeah, I see Korea's are the same way like Japan when it comes to single use.
It's like the Russian dolls of snack foods.
We always joke that Japan's going to start selling bags of rice with individually plastic bag grains.
It seems like that for here. And the Koreans don't think anything of it. It's like I am not the most environmentally conscious guy on the. I mean, I don't litter. I don't throw stuff on the ground. But if you send me a box but I don't care. But even I look at Korean snacks and go, "Come on!" There's like a lot of packaging here.
Yeah, it is a little bit much. But I mean, Japan's got some really good snacks though. Has Korea got any favorites for you when you're over there? Pick up from the convenience store or something when you want to snack and watch a movie.
It's kind of anything crunchy, anything spicy and crunchy.
Oh yeah, I like those. Those kind of like soy sauce, seaweed, kind of crunchy things. Those things are really good.
Yeah, they have like squid balls that are like squid flavored,
that sounds
like
good.
kind of spicy balls with some seaweed dust on them. They're pretty good.
That stuff's good.
But now, like Costco has just got the Takis thing, the little spicy like UK snacks. I'm all over those.
Okay, I might have to try looking for those.
There's
a Costco here, but I haven't been there in a long time.
Yeah. But anyway, back to Amber Heard's net worth because it ain't good. Amber Heard here, she's not doing so well. The same can't be said for Amber Heard.
So sad. It's so sad.
This is where we got derailed. She was a very successful actor to begin with, but the trial has come. But with the trial has come an extreme low, one that seems pretty hard for her to overcome. Fair enough. There's like, was this the my dog stepped on a bee moment? I think that's what.
This is one of the many times she tried to cry.
And again,
so funny. The guy testified that she couldn't cry on her acting range.
Oh yeah. Her acting coach. She's like, yeah, that was her big deal. She couldn't try. It's like, ooh, you're not helping your side. But this, I don't know if you saw this day when she was wearing these clothes.
Yeah, it's like the weird sort of North Korean dictator's look, I guess.
See, this is the thing, and we all talked about it. All of LawTube talked about it when she wore this, especially like Andrew from Legal Mindset and I. She came into court wearing this gray kind of Chairman Mao button-up Chinese collar shirt, and because there was, I think it was either nearly half or a slight majority of the jurors were of Asian descent. And it was like, she was wearing that to pander to the Asian set. But what we were all saying is like, doesn't she realize the reason they're in America is because they were escaping people that dressed exactly like that?
Well, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, surely if you're going to, were they Asian women or Asian men? Because you should just dress attractively. If
I think it was men.
Yeah. Audience.
But it's like, she's like, oh, look at my Asian gear. It was like, they're fleeing people that look like this. You're not doing yourself any favors. They're literally fleeing from people that dress like this to come to America.
I would love to know if her idea or her lawyer's idea. Like, who is the person that came up with this legal strategy of dressing like Dr. Evil, essentially?
Yeah, it was totally her idea. There's no way it could have been. Her lawyers would have said, get the fuck out of here. You don't see a person with negative net worth every day. Here we get into the meat of the argument. Well, unless you count my mortgage payment, then Amber Heard's life seems to be in shambles, both professionally and economically. With only the fame of Aquaman to her name, didn't this article just say she was a famous actress? She did not really have a filmography too impressive. But amidst all the legal turmoil, she now has 0 projects lined up and no new work prospects or offers. On top of that, the verdict of her defamation trial against Johnny Depp mandated that she pay $8.35 million to Johnny Depp. No work in addition to debt does not sound like a great recipe. Well, thank you very much for that insightful comment. It's not every day you see a person with a negative net worth meme. What happened to Amber Heard that landed her in the situation?
She went. Well, we know what happened to her, but she went from, I guess, for what she had. Living off Johnny Depp's coattails, essentially. To think that she went from like private island tier status to being negative. What is she like? -3 million at this point or something? Ridiculous.
Oh, we'll get to that point. That's the end of the article. Much worse than that. It's much worse than that. She had a very successful. She's never had a very successful career. Which again, weirdly, a few paragraphs before the article said she was a successful actor. So little editing problem there, but she is somehow thriving. Nevertheless, the trial brought to light all her net worth earnings between 2013 and 2019. Heard's pre-tax income was $10 million, which came from several sources like her endorsements in her movies and TV salaries. 2019 was a good year for Heard, notably for being her highest earning year. She earned around $3 million in 2019. Further, Heard and Warner Brothers had a 4-picture deal where she got $450,000 for the first project. Her salary related to her net worth rose by $1 million when she worked on the first Aquaman film. And that was one of the things that the guy was testifying about, the Hollywood agent guy who apparently was the guru of Hollywood agents, said in the 4-picture deals, it's always a set thing. You get your first paycheck, the next movie, if they keep you around, they're not required to give you a 4-picture deal. It's a 4-deal option, a 4-picture option. If they keep you around for the second one, you go up by a certain amount. The third time you go up by another amount, and it's a set amount every time, and none of it is near what Jason Momoa was getting.
To be fair, though, if there was one DC movie to be in, it would have to be Aquaman, because the DC movies were all terrible. For some reason, Aquaman came out of nowhere and was kind of actually did really well. I think it was
some reason
over $1 billion. I wasn't sure. It was the highest. Yeah, well,
and I couldn't finish it. I did not finish Aquaman. I just couldn't do it.
It wasn't really for me either, but it did well. It did well.
I watched Justice League, got through that. This poor DC is just so reactionary. They're so far behind the curve. And DC, frankly, DC has shitty superheroes to begin with. It's like every superhero they have is like a cheap knockoff of a Marvel superhero.
Yeah. I will say, like,
except for Batman and Superman.
People do lambast me a bit for this, but I actually quite enjoyed the Man of Steel movie. It wasn't a great Superman movie, but I enjoyed it as a movie.
Superman and Batman are those are the movies I like, and I'll even give Robert Pattinson like big kudos for proving he could act in the most recent Batman movie.
Yeah, I liked the new one, the Batman. That one was a good movie. I enjoyed that. It was there's a lot of good style in that movie, I thought. There was a few silly things, but
that's Batman.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's Batman. Based legal vices comic opinion. No, it's just true. It's just DC. It just has some shitty superheroes to work with.
I don't know if I agree with that. Like Batman.
Let's start with Aquaman.
Well,
the comic book Batman, the comic book Aquaman, he can literally use sonar and talk to fucking fish. The end.
Sure.
The most useless superhero alive.
I'm not a big comic guy. I'm not going to pretend that I am. But I will say that I'm pretty sure that before the Marvel movies, specifically before Iron Man, Batman and Superman were probably the most recognizable characters in the world. Now, for some reason, they have not been able to monetize them correctly or in a successful franchise, apart from the Dark Knight series, of course. But then it all turned around. It all turned around with the advent of Iron Man, which came out kind of out of nowhere. And it kind of built the foundation of the entire MCU cinematic universe. And now all these movie companies that kind of copy this format, they all want to have their own cinematic universe that concludes in this giant sort of epic conclusion, because of course, Marvel's one of the most profitable things there is. Yeah. And it's shocking to see how far Marvel has fallen in the last few years. Like
it's saturated. It's just saturation at this point. It's the same reason Star Wars is starting to suck. People are just tired. Give it a break. Just tired.
I mean, saturation is certainly a point, but I mean, if you've seen some of the content that they're putting out, it's embarrassing. Yeah. I mean, what is the one they got right going now? She-Hulk. It is awful.
Can't watch it.
Awful.
Unwatchable.
It is like I made one video about She-Hulk, like talking about how bad it was. And I was planning to do like a video on every episode. The second episode, or I think actually the first two came out together, and then it was like the third one. It was so boring. I couldn't even make jokes about it. It was just like, this is just sad. Like the only thing of note is that like it's nothing. It's like you could do maybe a 3-second clip of She-Hulk twerking to get some reactions on Twitter. That's about as bankable as the entire franchise is at this point.
Well, and also, I mean, on your channel, you do the Australian review of Rings of Power.
Yeah. It's doing quite well. I'm having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't even watch those because
it's so bad. It's so bad.
No, it's like, even though they're comedic parody reviews, they still make me angry. Even the comedic parody review commentaries on it make me angry because I'm watching these shitty clips. Oh God, Brandon Lesko. Sadly, I have to work. You work on drinking. Oh, you've just passed us over the threshold to the cumulative 100 mark. Brandon Lesko, thank you so much. I love you to death. I deeply appreciate all of the support you give me. I hope I don't see you until my Fuck It Friday stream on the 7th, when you always show me your traditional generosity, but hey, if you show up between now and then, I certainly won't complain. Cheers, Brandon. Enjoy your day. I've enjoyed mine. You're helping me enjoy it more. Cheers, and have an awesome day.
I just got waters, but cheers as well.
I wish I only had water.
I finished off my bottle of Basil Hayden's. That was good stuff.
Oh, that was quick.
Might get another. It's very good. I mean, it's very good.
It is.
I went through about half of it on my drinking stream, and then I finished off the other half on the weekend, just enjoying it. So yeah,
Brandon is the fucking man. Yes, you are, Brandon.
He's an absolute legend.
Cheers to Brandon. Thank you so much. I don't know. You're talking about She-Hulk and Rings of Power.
Oh man, like I rewatched The Fellowship of the Ring over the weekend just to see, like, you know, if I was nostalgia or something, comparing it to the actual, like, the Rings of Power. They are just completely different. It's so strange. Like, look at the elves. Like, when you see the elves in The Fellowship of the Ring, they've kind of like ethereal, beautiful, graceful. There's such presence in their screen time. Then you look at Rings of Power, they look like bad, I don't know, Star Trek
community theater. Yeah,
some
community theater actors.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Well, first of all, I mean, you have the 60 frames per second of TV, which
that doesn't bother me. I mean, I think a lot of gamers don't really care about that as much because we're used to dealing with 60 frames per second.
Yeah,
at least.
But I mean, it does look different. But then you have Peter Jackson had all that, like you said, that gauzing effect that he does whenever the elves come.
Yeah. There's like a thing. I think The Hobbit was the one that made people motion sick, wasn't it? The one that used 50 to 60 frames per second in the theater.
Yeah, but you know, who cares?
I mean, the problem with The Hobbit wasn't so good, but
well, I mean, like the thing that sticks out most in my mind, again, I've only seen it in clips because I watched like the first 5 minutes of the actual Rings of Power, and then I tried to watch. I tried to watch some of every one of the reviews that you do, whoever the Australian guy is that puts those things together. I can watch about 5. What?
That's me, right?
That's you. You do all the editing.
I do everything. Yeah, I do everything on my channel by myself.
It doesn't sound like you.
Oh, I put on a bit of a voice and I add a bit of vocal enhancement when I'm doing a live stream.
That's fucking awesome.
Oh, it's pretty easy. I mean, you just record it and you add a compressor and a bit of bass equalization. Because I've got a very good.
This has just changed my entire attitude towards these.
Oh,
go to Meme Copium. Oh, by the way, you should do that anyway. Go to Meme Copium's site and subscribe to him and sign up for everything, like all of his videos. But so all of these episodes, these parody reviews, you have created those yourself.
Yeah,
dude, that's some serious work.
I'm like kind of obsessive when it comes to doing things. I want to do I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to making things. I want to do
Holy crap! I thought it was just like some other Australian guy you were just like you reacting to. No. No. Those are awesome. Like the whole, like I did get a bit further into the last episode when you kept comparing Galadriel to a mouse. That was funny. I seriously didn't know that was you. I thought you were just like putting these on react. Those are fantastic. Now I can probably watch them because I know it was you. But like my whole problem with this is there's no passion in it. Was it 2 episodes ago where that stupid fucking sword fight where Galadriel's in prison and then she steps out and then she just kind of goes and manages to put 4 guards into prison. And she just that
scene is incredibly embarrassing. And there's another one in the most recent one, the episode 5.
She's got the double swords thing going, and the swords are just hanging limp in her arms. There's none of this, tight, like strong wristed sword action. She's just like, I'm fighting with a sword, believe me.
I think Rings of Power's biggest failing is that it's just boring to watch. Like that's the only way that I can even enjoy it is when I'm making.
And the dialogue is just shit. There's nothing. It's $1 billion to produce that shit.
If you watch that, like I didn't watch House of Dragon for a long time because I was I feel like almost betrayed by the original Game of Thrones series because I was really into the books and then I was really into the series. Around season 4 of Game of Thrones, I couldn't watch it anymore and I just stopped. So I didn't want to watch Rings of Power. I didn't want to watch House of the Dragon when it came out. Started watching it. So far, it's very good. There are some really good scenes in that House of Dragon, especially the dialogue is
I haven't seen the last 2 episodes yet. That's what's going to happen as soon as I sign off here. So I've only seen the first 4. So don't spoil it.
Oh no, I'm not going to spoil. But the big, like Game of Thrones, you get this sort of dialogue where people are talking about some like an allegory or something, and you know what they're talking about just through the context. And it's just incredibly well done. They'll be talking about flowers or something. They're actually talking about the politics, and you're just like, this is really good. Then you listen to Lord of the Rings, and have things like boats go up and rocks go down. The sea is always right.
What the fuck is that? The sea is always right. You know that's just a the drown can never die kind of shit. Think straight from Game of Thrones.
The first scene of Rings of Power makes me so frustrated for many reasons. I think like it's just dumb from the inception, right? Like
what is
Galadriel's brother is talking to her, like he's like there are two elves in the Undying Lands. They're immortal creatures, and he's like, I'm not going to be here forever, Galadriel. Is he planning to go kill himself? What is going on here?
It's like literally you are.
It is so bad.
Well, I'll tell you what did it for, and like I will not watch a full episode because I just won't. Because I'm a huge Tolkien geek, and I try to read the Silmarillion at least once a year. And the crossing of the ice when the elves are banished from Valinor and they go across the ice into Middle Earth is one of the most tragic scenes in the entire book. They meant, and Galadriel leads them across the ice. They get across the ice and they burn the ships that are, so the people that got there first, the guys that took the ships over, they burn the ship so there's no going back. And Galadriel and her group is forced to flee across the ice from Valinor. But they just took a fucking portal in the movie. I'm like, oh, this is just fucking bullshit. You just took a fucking portal. You just literally cut out one of the most tragic scenes of the entire Silmarillion.
I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert at the Silmarillion. We talked about this before, but like I tried to read it when I was a teenager and I couldn't really get into it. But yeah, there's some really serious points in that book, right? Isn't the whole reason that the elves are kind of banished from Valinor is because of the kinslaying, I believe? Like they tried to get the boats and they had to slay to get them, and then like it's a big deal getting the ships over there.
Yeah, they're supposed to go, and then like one group took off first, took all the boats and sailed, which left Galadriel and her followers to crawl across the ice, across the poles, basically, to get from Valinor. And they lost a huge chunk of the elves along the way. It's tragic. And then they burned the boats when they got there, so they could never go back. And just take a fucking portal.
I think it's the first episode of Rings of Power, but
oh yeah,
there is a point where Galadriel's basically about to re-enter the Undying Lands, and she decides to jump off the boat and swim back to shore. Yeah. So she's almost in Valinor. She tries to swim back to Middle Earth. That is actually
like a literally impassable, because they moved Valinor away from Middle Earth, so they could never do that. Literally, that's why. Anyway, we've strayed from Amber Heard. Back to Amber Heard's net worth.
Maybe this is what Amber Heard's been doing all this time. She's writing for Rings of Power. That would explain it all.
Probably. Back to her negative net worth. She made $10 million. 2019, she made $3 million. Further, Heard and Warner Brothers had a 4-picture deal for $450,000 for the first project. Blah, blah, blah. There we go. Further, don't say, they start two adjacent paragraphs with further. Whatever happened to editors, for God's sake? I decry the lack of editors in life. Further, the Warner Brothers contract was supposed to pay her $2 million for the second Aquaman film, Aquaman and the Last Kingdom, and $3 to $4 million in case of a third installment. Now, in case of her involvement in the third, it was an options contract. They could decide whether to bring her back, and if they did, they would have to give her these salaries. But Heard also starred in the 2020 miniseries. What? She was, oh, that's right. She was in The Stand. That's right.
Like Stephen King's The Stand?
Yeah. Did you watch that?
I didn't watch it, but that is one of my favorite books from Stephen King.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
Yeah. I mean, it was nearly as bad as the old miniseries was. Like she was in The Stand. She played
is it good?
She played Flag's wife, the one that got pregnant with Flag's child. She played
Is it the one that the nerd was dating and was like
Yeah, and then she went on to become Flag's woman and like was gonna have Flag's baby. Yeah,
I remember that. I remember that because it's like the nerdy guy kind of starts dating her, and she's like dressing up. She like dresses up as a Japanese like a sailor outfit or something. I think in the book because I was talking.
She's all slutty and things.
Yeah, that's right. But they had to reserve, her dignity, her purity for Randall Flagg, he's like the devil, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember that now.
Oh, Statuesque Mist says, yeah, the friends of Amber Heard the friends Amber Heard has left are going crazy in the streets. Lord help them. Yeah, I forgot she was in the stand. Yeah, she was Flag's woman. For the 9 episodes in the series, Heard was paid $200,000 per episode. Well, that's fuck more than she deserved. Adding up to $1.8 million. This doesn't sound so bad after all. She had a decent number of projects and a fairly decent income as well. But it was due to compensation. But it was the due compensation of $8.35 million laid down on her that has caused that is the worst fucking sentence I've ever read in my life. But it was the judgment amount that was handed down against her of $8.35 million that has caused her all the financial ruckus in her life. We need to use the word ruckus more. Setting her at a shocking net worth of minus $6 million. That's a big hole to start. Says Amber Heard. That's a big hole she's got there. Amber Heard financially doomed? Question mark.
Does it say they would put one of those Asian filters on them that make their eyes look bigger? You know, not a fan of those,
to make the hair red, and anyone that knows Asian photo filters. It's not even a filter so much as it just puts like a totally random person's picture that looks literally nothing like you on them.
It's very frustrating if you've ever used like an app where you're trying to match with people. You're like, hey, look, it's like 200 people that look exactly the same. This will be fun.
Yeah, or just like anyone that's in Asia knows you do not use Tinder pictures to match up with people. Because you're not going to get what is in the picture at all. Rick Silva says, wow, your streams have really gotten good, Legal Vices. This is my first time here in a few weeks, and I'm happily surprised. Well, I'm happily surprised you're back, Rick Silva. It's been a while. Good to see you here. We're doing quite well. I have this weird like to viewer ratio. Like we got 515 concurrent viewers and 637 likes.
I would imagine that's people that are starting to watch the stream and then going to bed because it's kind of a late time zone. So then as people filter in, it like rotates. So that means that you have.
But it's usually like you have way fewer likes than you have viewers. I always end up with more likes than I have viewers.
That's good. That's good.
And then it just kind of balances it. But yeah, it's like awesome because I have the best chat in the entire universe. But anyway, welcome back, Rick. Hope you come back for more. RL says, I'd rather be a regular person my whole life than a has-been. That's the worst. Oh, and that's the thing, like with these K-pop groups and the J-pop groups and things, you have this huge suicide rate because you get people that are projected and they're put up on this pedestal when they're 17, 18, 19 years old. And then when they're 21 or 22, nobody cares about them anymore because there's more, and they just self-delete. Or they just turn to a life of crime. They just ruins them. And I think it's like with a kid from Terminator and shit. Your life is over when you're 17. What do you do?
I mean, New Zealand historically had one of the highest youth suicide rates in the world. I think it's been overtaken by Korea now, but there was kind of this, for a long time when I was like growing up there was all these like kind of, you feel like your life is over and what are you going to do? But that's the thing. There's always more to life. It's just like you get inside these bubbles where you think there's nowhere for you to go, and like there's only one way to, only one exit, but it's not the case. You can always change your life. You can always make things better, and you can always find meaning if you devote yourself to finding that path, whatever it may be for you.
True. Statuesque Miss says Bjorn on Vikings looks like my ex, but my ex was taller. Vikings was the shit. That was a great show.
It's a good show. It's a good show. It's so hard finding a tall girlfriend. It's very. It's so hard finding a tall girlfriend. Where are they?
Dude,
where are you?
You're not in Japan and Korea is the answer to that question.
I know, it's so sad.
That's why that's why I like tall girls. I like short girls too, but there are advantages to dating tall girls. You don't have to bend over and crick your neck to make out with them. But short girls are fun too.
I find neck now because I'm always looking down at people.
So. Yeah, short girls are fun too. So hey, small, tall. Hey, I'll take them all. Woo. Oh, I rhymed. It's like me. Hey, it's Jay Vices, the rapper. Small, tall, take them all. Anyway, Vikings was awesome. And Bjorn, you can also see Bjorn is on the Mark Wahlberg Lone Survivor movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was in the Lone Survivor movie about the SEALs that were killed in Afghanistan.
Oh.
He was one of the guys on the base. But anyway, random comment. So Amber is $6 million in debt. She has a negative worth.
A lot of sucking to work off.
Well, she's never going to pay it off. So far, the entirety of Amber Heard's legal fees has been reportedly covered by her homeowner's insurance. That's the next and last article we'll get to. That is untrue at present. But further reports have suggested that even the insurance company is reluctant to further pay Heard's due damages on her behalf. Yep, they are actually suing not to do that, which is what we're going to get to. That's a fascinating story. It's not a secret that Amber Heard simply does not have the money to pay Johnny Depp, especially the amount that she owes him. What kind of sentence is that? She doesn't have the money to pay Depp, especially the amount she owes him. What do you mean, especially? That she owes him the amount she owes? Damn it! I hate this. I hate online shit.
So,
editors,
as a legal question, how often do judgments actually get paid in full? Do you know?
Well, you can either not do anything about it and wait for it to come in, or you can garnish wages or income or seize assets and things. It just depends how aggressive you want to be about it. I mean, if she doesn't pay it, Johnny Depp could literally just go in and attach her bank accounts to where every cent that comes in goes to him, or attach her wages where everything she makes, a percentage of it goes to him. He could start arresting, like seizing her house and shit like that and auctioning it off to pay for it, depending if he wants to be that aggressive about it.
At least what I saw from the Johnny Depp on the trial, I don't feel like he would do that. I feel like he's just going to let it go.
Well, if she she's appealed and then he appealed. There's no reason. I mean, if she appeals, you have to appeal,
right?
Just as a strategy. So if she withdrew her appeal, I totally believe Johnny Depp would withdraw his appeal as well. And if she said, "I'm just going to shut the fuck up and never talk about you again for the rest of my life," I could see him going, "Okay, I don't want your $8 million. I just want you to leave me the hell alone."
Yeah,
but it just depends.
Just say, like, just leave me alone and I won't claim it or something. Like, I think he just wants it to be done and to work again.
Yeah. But she's got her thing, so. Even her lawyer, when asked on national television whether Heard could afford to pay the compensation, clearly said, "Oh, no, absolutely not." On top of all of this, rumors that Heard's role has either been massively reduced or literally cut out of the film Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom also spells trouble for the actress. Now, if they leave, what's his face? Miller, Evan Miller, is that his name?
Is Ezra Miller the Flash?
Ezra Miller. Yeah, if they leave Ezra Miller in Flash and then cut her out of Aquaman, that would be like the ultimate slap in the face. You
gotta imagine it's not good being an exec in the DC universe right now. All of their people not looking so good.
Seriously.
But I think I did hear this, like, people were talking a lot about this, like being cut from Aquaman. I think it's confirmed that she is in it, but her film part is very much reduced, and she might even die in the film, so that if there's any going forward, she's not going to be back in them. She might even, like, I think one of the biggest rumors was she's going to die in childbirth or something. So, like, kind of heroic sort of sacrifice, send off like a mother kind of thing,
For her invisible baby.
Yeah.
That would be awesome if, like, Ezra Miller gets to be in everything and be like, "Nah, you're worse than Ezra Miller. We don't even want you around." That'd be awesome.
Well, that was the funny thing, right? Coming out of the trial, that Jason Momoa. After Jason Momoa. Johnny Depp isn't the only person cleaning up the ocean these days with Amber Heard's removed from Aquaman.
Nice. So her being reduced, it will impact her $2 million paycheck. She gets the $2 million. It won't impact. She's contractually guaranteed to get the $2 million. She's in the movie. She gets it. And if she's removed from the sequel, then there'll be zero money coming in. There'd be a thin chance of her returning for the third installment either, despite the contract, because it's an option contract. They can decide what to do with you. It literally looks like a role reversal in the dynamics between the former spouses, with Amber Heard suffering the same fate, I guess, that Depp did a few years ago. Heard has become a literal pariah in the industry. Well, good. with some reports even revealing that she slept her way into Hollywood. Of course, well, now we have all this, like she was an escort and shit like that coming out.
Do that? Would women actually sleep their way into Hollywood? I don't want to believe that. That can't be true.
Never. It would never happen. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more. Say no more.
I mean, isn't she like a actual stripper for the elite or something? Sort of her.
Well, yeah, and that's the deal. It's like she would. Some of the articles were saying she was a groomer, basically. Like she was pulling people in to like these escort. She was like an escort, basically, is what people are saying now. And there's some videos and pictures out there and things.
The things that go on in Hollywood, it's not the best thing. Like, I cannot imagine ever having a child actor, like one of my children being an actor. I feel like that's the worst place you could put them. Like even if it's like their dream to be like like in that industry, like just stay away. It's such a terrible place.
Well, no, I mean, you even look at Stranger Things with what's her name, Millie? What the hell's her name? She's like
Millie Bobbitt, 11. You know, yeah, I know who you're talking about. But
yeah, 11. Yeah, but she's like 15, and people are like sexualizing her. And like, dude, she's 15 freaking years old. Yeah. You filthy degenerate.
Interesting thing, as I did a review video.
Millie Bobby Brown. Yeah, okay.
Sorry. I did a review video on the Stranger Things. Because of the scenes that I used from Stranger Things season 1, the YouTube algorithm picked up that there was children in the algorithm. In the video, and it disabled comments on that video. Because if you've heard about this, YouTube's there's a whole YouTube scandal about how the algorithm serves content. Like the algorithm is so good at serving you the content you want that people that are looking for less than savory content will say have a good way of finding it very quickly, and that's why they had to disable video comments on all videos, including children. It's a bigger problem on Twitter, but it's a big problem on YouTube as well. And
she's never really been known for her acting caliber either, as much as her looks, which also seems to not be enough anymore. So yeah, she is in a financial situation.
Slight snafu.
Yeah, like not a good one. And I don't see her ever working in Hollywood again. And yeah, Millie Bobby Brown is 18 now. But when she was 14, 15, 16, people were like sexualizing her to a ridiculously scary degree.
It's so strange because her character is essentially genderless for most of the show, like to a point where they actually, like the first time she actually dresses up as a girl, she's like surprised. It's like actually a character developing point. Yeah. Stranger Things is a pretty good series, by the way. Season 4 is actually really good.
I loved it. I mean, being a that was me in the 80s. I mean, it was nostalgia from season 1 through the entire thing.
Yeah, it's
season
really
3 kind of sucked, but season 4
season
more
3 was pretty bad. But they came back with the season 4. Like I thought I was going to be done with Stranger Things, but then they did some retcons, which I generally don't like in my stories, but for the better. And it turned out to be a fairly good way to. I mean, it's not over yet. There's one more season, but really good season. And it's a shame they always kill off some of the best characters in Stranger Things. Like every season, there's a new character that you just love that they just kill every time.
Well, we can blame Game of Thrones and perhaps even go back as far as Stephen King's The Mist for that.
I think we were talking about The Mist last time as well. Good movie.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Yeah. Well, see, now we've got this thing they talked about here where did her insurance company pay her legal bills? No.
Did insurance companies do that? It seems a bit strange to me.
I mean, you can get insurance to cover your legal fees.
Right.
I mean, that's the vast majority of the work that I do in my office for maritime accidents and things. The insurance companies will cover the legal fees. I mean, in the shipping industry, it's called a pay to be paid clause, where basically you pay it first and then you send the bill to the insurance companies and they cover that as part of your insurance package. And I'm sure actors and actresses have these things too. But the her insurance company is suing. What are you doing, dumbass dogs? Yoda seems to have got himself in a fix somewhere. I can't see him, but anyway. Yeah, that's what this last and final article is about, the insurance company and how they are deciding they don't want to pay. And there's a little more to it than this article points out, but where are we at here?
Oh, that's right. One of your dogs is named Yoda, isn't it?
Yeah, Yoda and Strawberry.
I did a story tonight about a guy called Yoda, but a very different person.
A guy called Yoda.
There's a Japanese man called Yoda. Oh, Yoda's his family name. And he was arrested in fairly close to where I live for stealing 360 umbrellas over the last 360 raincoats over the last 10 years from women.
Wow.
He's a over like a raincoat fetishist or something. It's a very bizarre story. Very, very story. But these are the sort of stories you get in Japan. I assume in Korea too.
Yeah.
Do you have
I lose 300 umbrellas a year.
Do you have the rule in Korea where single women will not live on a first floor apartment because of the potential to lose their underwear to passerbys?
No. It's usually they won't live on the first floor because drunk dudes will come and bang on their door at night and try to get in. But not losing the underwear.
Well, that is a bit of an issue, I'm afraid. So
that's so Japanese. All right.
It is very Japanese. Japan is a weird place.
Well, due to these marginal ads, we have to keep the print pretty small. Otherwise, it gets buried by the sidebar ads. Dang. All right. Well, this is all about Amber Heard's bills and how she and Elaine Brederhoff and a lot of people are getting sued by the insurance companies because they don't want to pay. All right, stop it. There we go. Yes, Amber Heard's insurance company refuses to pay for her damages against Johnny Depp. Instead, sues her for willfully and maliciously defaming him. Heard was found guilty. Well, that would be in the article anyway. Amber Heard has been in turmoil ever since her loss in the defamation trial. Ordered to pay $10.35 million. You set it off. She's got like $8.5 million she has to pay. So yeah, the piracy. Oh, I guess it was 50. Now she does have to pay the 10 point. That was right. It was 15 million total. And then they set it off and everything got done to the 10.35 deal. So in the latest update, the insurance company of Amber Heard is refusing to pay the money the actress owes her husband, Johnny Depp, after losing her defamation trial. Instead, it's suing the Aquaman actress so that it can save itself from any duty to pay for her end. This is a short article, but we can talk a little bit more about it. According to Law and Cuck, New York Marine and General Insurance Company filed the suit against Amber on Friday, and rumor has it they're also going against Elaine Brederhoff, so they don't have to pay the fees behind this, the fees and the judgment amount. While Amber Heard reportedly has a $1 million liability policy, the company chooses to refuse to pay out as she committed willful and malicious conduct, which is against their policy. An insurer is not liable for a loss caused by the willful act of the insured, claimed the suit. Well, this further complicates things for Amber Heard, who's already unable to pay Johnny Depp the huge amount of damage she owed. So that's kind of the gist of this article. But from how I understand it at this point, there's the two separate articles. They're saying we don't have to pay the judgment amount because these were losses and damages caused by a willful act. Is basically the same as saying you can't claim your fire insurance money if you commit arson and burn your own house down.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so you did this intentionally.
What do you do if you're the lawyer for Amber Heard, though? Like, did they get paid up front, or are they like looking at their bank account saying like we just wasted all this money, or
pretty much?
Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, because again, that's what we see a lot with insurance and even insurance companies have insurance companies. There's reinsurers that are essentially they insure the insurance companies. So if the insurance company has to pay something out, then they make the claims to their insurers. So you get these multi-level insurance deals. But one of the things usually for legal fees is that to even pay a judgment or the legal fees, there'll be clauses in there that say that the insurance company, because they have an interest in the litigation, because if they lose, if their client loses, if the insured loses, they will have an obligation to pay. So they have an interest in the litigation, which gives them the right to have one of their lawyers or a team of their lawyers or whoever be involved in the litigation, so that they can make sure the litigation is being run properly. They can make arguments in the litigation because essentially they're going to be the paying party. Ultimately, the insurance company is going to have to pay. So therefore they have the right to have a say in how the litigation is conducted. But apparently very early on, Elaine Brederhoff and Rottenborn pushed the insurer's lawyers out of the picture very, very early. And so the insurance companies are saying, our right to have someone there present and to make decisions regarding the progress and handling of the lawsuit was infringed upon. You didn't fulfill your end of the contract, so we're not paying the legal fees. So that's one of the arguments that I understand is being made from the insurer's position in their lawsuit against Amber Heard's lawyers. Like you breached the insurance policy term that allows us to participate in the proceedings and make sure that things are going the way we think they need to go. So there's a lot. She's going to be stuck for apparently $6 million in legal fees too. And I think the insurance companies have a very, very good argument. Because that's literally a standard insurance policy in these types of insurance. Okay, if we're going to pay, we get to decide how the litigation goes. So she may be in the whole $16 million by the end of the day, plus whatever her appeals cost.
Yeah, I guess I feel like they've got to be in this sort of double or nothing sort of like mindset where they have to like we have to keep going with this because if we can get it all back if we can win on one appeal, but I just don't see it happening. Yeah,
they're not going to win on an appeal. Johnny Depp has a much better chance of winning on appeal than they do.
Yeah, they must have gone into it thinking it was going to be like an easy win because of the UK trial. Of course, the UK trial was not a case against Amber Heard; it was against the Sun, as I understand it. So and they're being very disingenuous the entire time, saying that Johnny had already lost to Amber in the UK, which simply is not true. But they're trying to frame their public sort of discourse.
Yeah, MG Law says one company has paid millions in fees, and the other is trying to avoid sharing in those costs due to Elaine pushing away the insurer's chosen counsel and the intentional tort. Exactly. Joy, I'm not a violent person, but I could quite happily kick Amber in the teeth for what she did. As a DV survivor myself, I just hate this woman. Fair enough. You were going to say?
I was just saying, like, the trial ended on the June 1st, was it?
Yeah.
It feels like so long ago. Like, it feels like a lifetime ago. But I guess it's only been a couple of months. I guess 3 months or so.
I think as I mentioned right at the beginning of the show, I need to get the quote from Godfather 2 every time I do the Amber Heard thing. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in again for dealing with this shit. You just want to see Amber Heard and Johnny Depp go over the horizon behind you, just fade into the distance. But then eventually you accumulate enough of these stories that you can use it to support an entire show. That's kind of, we reached that point today. So that's why we did this. God, it's going to be around for years. I figure the appeals process will probably take a couple of years.
Yeah, and lawsuits are so slow. It's unbelievable.
And I mean, the actual appellate trial is very, very anticlimactic and very, very short. You're going to spend 1 or 2 years sending motions back and forth, making arguments, submitting your claim, submitting your answer, submitting the response to the answer, and then the answer to the answer to the answer. And eventually it's going to come down to a trial, which is only on issues of law. There's no factual issues will be discussed. It's did the judge make a legal error that would warrant setting aside or overturning the first instance court judgment. So it's only arguments on the law, and the hearing will last at most 30 minutes.
Are you at all familiar with the Vic Mignogna trial?
Vaguely, I'm very tangential to that.
Yeah. So kind of a similar trial, and it almost spoiled a bunch of people because very similar sort of like Me Too sort of case that came out. It was been an appeal for I guess the last almost. It must be 2 or 3 years, but like the actual, and the actual trial process, like from the discovery to the hearings and the deposition, and everything, it happened so quickly. So like a lot of people started watching this kind of the burgeoning lawtube space when the Vic Mignogna trial came out, and we were all spoiled, and like myself included, I was watching this. I think it was the first trial that I really took interest into, and it just went at light speed. And this is one of the things Ricada was saying. He was saying like this is not usual for a trial to be going like I think we were like 3 months. We had basically concluded the entire thing, and then we went into the appeals, and then it took basically two or 3 years of nothing. And this is kind of like the regular speed. So a lot of people kind of got this quick like dose of like a law case, and then we actually see like what it actually takes, like the years that go into this. And the UK was on appeal. Was it like 5 or 6 years since Johnny Depp lost that case? Like, it's ungodly slow.
It was 2020, so it's been 2 years. But the start was it was like 2017, 2019. But no, I mean, I'm just thinking of the cases we're dealing with. The longest case I ever dealt with was 17 years.
Oh wow.
And
That's insane.
it was well into that time frame when I started working at the firm. But now I'm trying to think. We have a vessel sinking case that has been going on now for 14 years.
All right.
That's just the snail's pace. That's just how it is. Yeah. So these lightning quick things don't happen that often.
Now, in maritime law, do you ever hear the phrase "the sea is always right"?
God damn it! Never once have I heard that.
How about the sea does not commit treason? Is that something you've heard before?
Yeah, I can't say I've heard that one.
That's just a offhand question. Okay, just clearing that up. I was curious about that.
What a stupid show. $1 billion went into making the Rings of Power. God,
what a disaster.
Yeah. Well, dang. But this is where we are on the Johnny Depp thing. What do you have coming up, Meme, this week? What's your week looking like?
Well, I mean, I should have either finished or just about be finished with the Rings of Power episode 5 review. I should be streaming every night this week. About you typically stream 10 p.m. Korea time, is that correct?
Usually like 9, but it's kind of a little bit. I got a lot of things going on this week, so there's like some nights.
Yeah, I usually stream about an hour or 2 hours before your stream, and just talk about whatever really interests me. At the moment, we're going over strange news stories, a lot of Asian food stories as well, because I don't know, I'm just interested in food recently.
I still want one of those giant Nick Ricada ramen packages. Those are pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, those are easy to find. You can probably get them in Korea actually.
Never seen them.
Really? Oh, they're everywhere here, but not the big ones are harder to find. Like you can get the 2K calorie one is pretty easy to find. The 4K one is a little bit harder to find, but I can probably see if I can find one for you.
I'll have to look at it. I don't know what there's obviously a Japanese equivalent. There's like Coupang, which is like the ultimate online shopping experience where you can order something and it'll get here from the States in like 4 days. So this huge, massive online shopping place. I'll have to check there. But anyway, you were saying what's going on this week?
Yep. So there'll be that. So typically I'll do 1 or 2 videos about something a week, and then I'll stream most weeknights, and then on Friday we've been doing the drinking stream, which will probably continue this week if you want to come along, from 8 p.m. Korea time. Or maybe I might start a bit earlier, actually, I'm not sure just yet. We'll play some games, get some drinks, and have a bit of fun. It gets a bit rowdy sometimes, it gets a bit silly, a bit noisy.
Yeah, I haven't seen Max since 2 or 3 weeks ago. And
he was on the stream last week.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
He had a broken computer, so he had to sit one out, but I feel like he could have used with sitting one out, actually. He usually downs like an entire bottle of vodka every stream. It's crazy. Yeah. He goes hard.
Wow, Legal Mindset's live now. We'll dump everybody into Legal Mindset when we're done here.
Sounds like a good option.
I'm talking about Italy's Melania Meltdown, Melania's also apparently a big Lord of the Rings nerd. She apparently went to a Hobbit camp when she was a child.
My cousins live quite close to the Hobbiton town in New Zealand, and
that's a shitty thing. My 21-year-old son has been there, and I haven't. So screw him.
I feel like Hobbiton itself is a little bit of a tourist trap, but there's some very cool Lord of the Rings locations you can go to.
I mean, just like the mountainous areas, you know, like where they filmed the Misty Mountains and things.
Just beautiful South Island.
Just those craggy, just things.
I think we mentioned this last time, but you know the scene where Frodo and the rest of the hobbits have first left the Shire, and the ring wraith is standing over them on that thing.
Yeah,
that is actually the public park in Wellington, Mount Victoria, and was part of my that road that they go along used to be part of my walk to university when I was
wow,
growing
cool.
up. So very nostalgic for me to watch that. Of course, all of New Zealand, because things like
it's
but,
like literally
yeah, pretty cool.
everywhere in New Zealand, isn't it? But well, for my folks, what I've got coming tomorrow is Wednesday. We got some movement on the Alec Baldwin shooting case. We'll be looking at some documents there and speculating about what's going to be happening in the future, as well as looking at some of the civil lawsuits that have been filed in that case. That's what we're doing on Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to be watching the O.J. Simpson trial, catching up on some of that. We'll be doing that Thursdays for the next probably 3 weeks, dealing with F. Lee Bailey, one of the most badass defense lawyers that's ever walked planet Earth, cross-examining racist cop Mark Furman about planting evidence and using racial slurs, which again, as we talked about earlier on, the reason we say the N-word today rather than dropping the actual N-bomb is because of F. Lee Bailey and Mark Furman in the O.J. Simpson trial. They dropped the F-bombs. They dropped the N-bombs so much in there, they just started calling it the N-word thereafter.
Oh, no.
But yeah, so we'll be doing that.
Yeah.
We'll be doing that. We'll be looking at the cross-examination of there, where you can see F. Lee Bailey, one of the greatest defense lawyers in the history of mankind, dismantle this cop, Mark Furman.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we'll be doing on Thursday. Friday, we'll just be doing my usual Friday legal vices law rant, where we just kind of take all the law-related articles and law-adjacent articles that there's nowhere to fit them into the week and just kind of throw them in a big lump at the end. And me and Copy and you are invited to that as well. Whenever you finish we'll do what we usually do. If I can, I'll jump onto your Friday stream. I got some things to do, so I'll probably start about midnight Friday, my time, which is 11 a.m. Eastern time and 1 a.m. Australia time, and that would be midnight minus 8 hours, 4 p.m. London time. That's when I'll probably start on Fridays, because I have to go out for the night. But yeah, we'll just talk about dumb shit and get liquored up.
There was a comment in chat. I just need to clarify for somebody. Yeah. I lived in New Zealand, but I'm actually from Australia. My mother's from New Zealand, so I'm like half Australian, half New Zealand. But he's mentioning something about a New Zealand maritime disaster, the sinking in New Zealand at Michael Lemontoff. I don't know about that, but it did respond. It did remind me. Have you ever heard about the sinking of the Rainbow Warrior?
Wow, I didn't know the Rainbow Warrior sank.
So this is, I guess, before my time, but I think it was in 1985, 1986. The Rainbow
Warrior Mark I.
It was basically. So it was a New Zealand Greenpeace ship.
Yeah.
That and New Zealand was protesting the French atomic warfare or atomic tests in the Pacific. There was actually a conspiracy against New Zealand where the French Navy SEALs, which I think is like their Navy frogs, literally sunk that ship in New Zealand waters. So actual French espionage versus the nation of New Zealand. That might make for an interesting maritime Monday.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that. That's one of my favorite videos ever. Is the Japanese whaling vessels trying to ram and sink a Greenpeace ship that was trying to stop them during their whaling festivals. That's just like awesome. It's like, you want to board us? Screw it, we're ramming you.
The whaling stuff gets a bit crazy.
Yeah. But we're going to be talking that's what's going to happen next Monday. So we'll do that on Friday. We'll do the drunken law rant stream on Friday. Monday, for Maritime Monday next week, we're going to be doing an interesting case of the Pingshin 101, which was this case that took 10 years to be resolved. And what happened was somebody randomly, I can't remember exactly where it was. I think it may have been in New Zealand, but someone found a cell phone in a taxi, and they were looking at a video on the taxi that was on the phone that they found in this taxi. And the video just showed what seemed to be a Chinese fishing boat, just randomly massacring people that were floating on some wreckage in the water. They were just shooting them up, just lit them up, and just took them out. And they searched. They used Interpol. They used internet sourcing to try to they identified the ship. Then they identified the time. It was done from the metadata. Then they identified the captain, and they arrested it. And they said they alleged were Somalis. It took place between Somalia and the Seychelles, and they said that they were attacked by Somali pirates. It was what they alleged. and they just massacred him. And that's what we're going to be talking about on Monday.
I've heard of things like that happening, but with no like evidence like that. That'd be very interesting to learn about.
Yeah, well, there's like a big series, a podcast series they're doing about these kind of weird things in the sea, and that's the first episode they did was this case. But yeah, that's what we'll be talking about on Monday. Then next week, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing, but a week from this Sunday, I will be having a very, 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 very special guest on the channel, a new guest that we've never seen before. I'll do some name dropping next week, but it'll be a special
bit of a surprise.
Sunday show. Oh. Yeah, it'll be a special Sunday stream a week from this coming Sunday. That's what's coming up for me. But to anybody that is still here, all 500 of you that are still here, and we got 720 likes and 533 concurrent viewers. That is awesome. I would love to stay around a bit longer, but
just heads up. It looks like Legal Mindset stopped streaming and stream rated you, so you can't stream rate him. But I think Hayden's streaming.
Is that how we got here? Hey, that explains
I think he just
the sudden
joined.
Jump.
Yeah, so I guess,
that explains the sudden jump. We're not going to dump you into Legal Mindset because apparently Legal Mindset is no longer with us. Let me see who we got going right now.
No, the Overlord's up, so you could do him.
Did someone mention that it was a Legal Mindset raid?
I just saw it pop up in stream. I was just like, Legal Mindset just joined. So,
oh yeah, okay. Oh, Legal Mindset's actually here.
Yeah, there you go.
We got a Legal Mindset lurking in here. I don't see where you've said anything. Whatevs. Anywho, hey Andrew, if you're here, welcome. We're just kind of shutting down. I was just getting ready to dump everybody into Legal Mindset, but apparently that's not happening. Rip Andrew taken too soon.
Was he drinking tonight?
No, Andrew passed away. No, I guess we just don't get a dump into his stream.
Just match on Tinder or something and had to stop his stream.
Yeah. Now we got to find someone else to dump into. What's going on right now? It says he's still alive.
Really? I thought for sure I saw it.
Well, it's one way to find out. That's the beauty of YouTube.
It's like he finished 4 minutes ago.
I finished 4 minutes ago. All right. Well, it hasn't updated yet.
I don't know. Sometimes YouTube lags like that.
Yeah, it takes a while to update things. Well, I guess we won't dump people into anyone because Hayden's not streaming right now, according to this. Yes, he is. Okay. All right. I guess if we will dump into him if Andrew has quit. Geez, Andrew, I was gonna dump you 500 people into you, but hey, thanks for your dump. That was pretty awesome. All right, we are all. Andrew left the building a while ago. Just got sent from him. Yeah, no, he's done. Yeah, we figured that out. He just finished streaming. Well, welcome aboard, everybody, for the last few minutes of the stream. We're going to close this out and then promptly dump you into Aussie Overlord. On your way out, please do me the amazing... Okay, wait a minute. MG Law says, how often do you have to do with UNCLOS? Thankfully, that's the United Nations law of the sea shit. Not too often, thankfully. Yeah. I hate conventions and shit. They annoy me. It's like you know what laws you need to know, and then suddenly, well, there's this really obscure convention that you have to take into account. You're like, fuck, I got to do all my research again. Well, oh well. I guess that's all I have here tonight. Again, my 2-hour stream went 2 hours and 43 minutes. I guess that's how we roll here because I have the best chat in the universe and I have the best guests. So everyone pop over to Meme Copy. I mean, you need to subscribe and like every single video he's ever done because they deserve it. Everyone of them does that.
By the way, of course, it's always a good time coming on. You've got such interesting topics to talk about. It's like truly fascinating.
It's a lot of them come from desperation rather than inspiration, but you know, thankfully, I was like, oh my God, what am I even talking about on Wednesday? But thankfully, there was some last minute motion on the Alec Baldwin shooting, so that gave me something to talk about. But come back tomorrow for me. What are you doing tomorrow, Meme? What do you got going?
Well, like I said, I should be uploading a new part of the Rings of Power review, and then I'll be streaming later in the evening. Not sure what I'll be streaming about just yet, but more than likely like some maybe dark side of the internet sort of videos, look at weird or unexplained mysteries, that sort of stuff. Something like that.
All right. And I will be doing Alec Baldwin at tomorrow's Wednesday. So it'll be 9 p.m. Korea time, 8 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. London time, and 10 in Australia. So everyone, thank you for joining here. On your way out, please hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe button too. That is deeply appreciated. We picked up a few subscribers during the stream. I hope you'll stick around, even if we don't talk about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp stuff every day. We're looking about once every 3 weeks right now, which is way more than enough. But please come back for our other exciting content. Join the membership if you want to, and come back later and make a comment, because that's engagement in the YouTube algorithm, and they seem to like that. Let's keep the channel growing. And we've got the again, keep on your calendar Friday, October 7th for the Fuck It Friday 25,000 subscriber mega drunk stream, which Meme Copium will be part of, as well as a large number of YouTube LawTuber celebrities, shall we say. So I can thank them personally for making me who I am today, which is really nobody, but hey, more of a nobody than I was before.
You're growing really like the thing is, like, YouTube is a very hard game to get into, and a lot of people want to do YouTube. And a lot of people get opportunities that they waste as well. But you, natural presenter, very entertaining, great life stories and lessons, and very cozy stream that I enjoy to watch.
Oh,
so very natural.
That's very kind of you. All right, folks. I always hate saying goodbye, but I got to say goodbye. I got to go to sleep. We're getting on midnight. Got stuff to do before then. You all take care. Have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening. You guys are awesome. We'll see you all tomorrow, I hope. Plus, bring your friends. Until then, whatever you do, do not forget to enjoy your legal vices. Bye. I'm out.